Good morning, Tradeify Nation, and welcome to another edition of Tradeify TV. It is Friday, June 20th, 2025. It is 60 minutes to the New York Open, which means it's time for us to get you ready for your trading day. So we had the day off yesterday. We missed all of you. Glad to see everybody back. Also missed my two favorite fellow hosts. So let's pass it around and introduce them. Let's start with my main man, Mr. White T himself, Swiss Nick. Nick, how you doing, sir?
Thank you, Matt. I'm very good. Hope you are too. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, guys. I'm already cracking up because of the chat here. Shout out to Deadbeat, who made I don't know how many billions of dollars with one micro today. Amazing work on that. But yeah, I'm ready for another banger stream. We have a really cool guest today. We have giveaways. We have live trades. We have everything. We have questions that we're going to answer. So I'm excited for it. And obviously, as usual, let's start this with our one and only not curly trader much mommy, however you want to call her. Let's go.
We don't even know what to call me anymore, but it's all good. Good morning, guys. Welcome to Tradeify TV. Happy Friday. We are so happy that you guys are joining us today. We missed you guys. I know it was only one day, but welcome back. So we are happy to start today off with you guys. As usual, we have a great day packed for you guys today. And I'm excited. I mean, we took yesterday off. We have some things that we need to look at. And we're going to get right into it. So Matt, why don't you take us away?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go take a look at the 4-hour chart here on the NQ. And apologies for everything's going to look a little different for me today. I just finally got... most of you know I've talked about it a little bit on this stream before, but I had a bad basement flood about right like 2 weeks before this show started, and it ruined my trading computer. So I was running off literally 3 different systems until today. So I'm still getting everything configured and set up. But basically, if we're looking at the 4-hour here, let me get all these wonderful little indicators off the chart, and let's just raw dog this chart today, guys. So basically, guys, some news broke about, about an hour ago. So some positive, apparently, guys, take this with a grain of salt, positive developments out of Iran, that Iran is willing to look for a diplomatic solution. And guys, of course, you can't go on social media without seeing, a good guy, bad guy in this scenario. We're not obviously going to get into that. Our geopolitics stance we only talk about it as far as it relates to the market. But I don't think anyone would disagree that if things can be settled without any further violence, it's a good thing from a human perspective. It's a good thing from the market's perspective. So let's whether you hope, whether you pray, whatever you do, let's make sure that's the case. Hopefully, because then the markets can just get back to doing what the markets do, which is respond to economics, respond to tariffs, Trump, all of that. We were doing pretty good with some volatility with all that. Now, obviously, there's some uncertainty over there. So let's hope that situation gets settled. If anything comes across the news wire while we're on the air, I will relay it to you. This all came out a little bit, and you saw, if we go back down to the 5-minute chart here in the NQ, whoa, I got to zoom way in on that one. But we had a nice little pop here at the, let's see, what time was that? 6:35 a.m. Central, 7:35 Eastern. So, and we're making new highs, and we're retreating a little bit. We just made new highs a few minutes ago. So, guys, it's looking like we could have a bullish day. We went red to green on that news. But it is a Friday. It's going to be a weird day coming off of FOMC. Trump's been going after Powell for the last couple of days. So, Nick, I think it's going to be a very, very interesting day.
Yeah, it is. It is 100%. I also took one pretty nice trade during London session, which I'm going to break down here in a second. But before I do, what I'm looking at today, actually here on the 1-hour chart, I mean, I have three things that I'm mainly looking at today. Number one, we do have, and I'm on the hourly chart here on NQ, we do have this downtrend line that started from the 22,229 level here on Monday. That was just broken on the 1-hour candle. That candle has not closed yet. So as soon as that has closed, I consider it officially broken. That is one key thing I want to see for a bullish day. Then we have the previous month high, and basically this area here. That's kind of like, what is it total? 20 point, 30 point area that I see could be a point of resistance. If we break that, then I see no reason why we couldn't get back to Monday's highs here. And then on the downside here, I still do take a look at the previous week low that is holding strong. That has been a level that was defended by the bulls here on Thursday, 5th of June, then again on Thursday, 12th of June, and now obviously again yesterday, Thursday, always on Thursday, literally like 1 week apart every single time, which indicates to me that we are going to go higher if we don't trade in that overall range, obviously. So for me, I see it the same way as you, Matt. I'm looking for a bullish play here today, but obviously, as usual, I'm going to wait and see how price plays out. Obviously, also very important thing, guys. Yes, we do have the giveaways that I said before, but also we're going to have a guest on today, Tyler Trades. He's going to come on later today, and you get the opportunity to ask him questions. He's going to break down his strategy, and it's going to be fun times. Miriam, what are you looking at right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so interesting things that happened overnight here. If you guys were on the stream in the last, I mean, honestly, anytime this week, you would know how much I was talking about this gap play on the NASDAQ. Now, let's look at NASDAQ here, also ES as well, but let's look at NASDAQ while we have this here. So this is the 1 hour chart. Actually, let me go to the 4 hour chart so you guys can really appreciate this. You know what? No, let's do a 3 hours so you can really see this. All right, so prior to yesterday, right, we had this nice gap on the NASDAQ that we were talking about all week, right? I was mentioning this gap. Now, obviously, we didn't know when we were going to come down and fill this gap, but this was the rollover gap, right? When we rolled over to the new contract in September, this is the gap up that we made. And I tell you guys often, gap plays are one of my favorite plays. Now, unfortunately, I didn't catch this because unfortunately, this happened literally yesterday when the markets were supposed to be, you know, a little low on volume. But so I didn't trade this, but as you can see, I want to show you guys, this is the gap here in this light blue. And we came down yesterday and we actually paused right here. So we didn't quite hit this gap on the 3 hour. Now, if I go to the 1 hour right here, you'll see also that we kind of stalled at this gap. And then we came down and look at how beautifully we filled this gap. And I told you guys, like, gap plays are one of my favorite plays because they tend to fill. Now, do they fill all the way all the time? Do they fill partially? We don't know, right? And we don't know when they're going to fill, but most of the time they fill. And you guys can see this is just a perfect gap play setup that we had yesterday. Now, we came down, we filled the gap, we kind of stalled at the bottom of it, and then, you know, we pushed up higher. And as you can see, we actually have a little bit of a gap here as well. So again, these are just things I want to point out to you guys because it was such a nice move on that contract rollover gap, and you know now we filled it, but I'm gonna make this the new gap that we potentially can come down and see. Now for overall today, I am looking also for a bullish setup. Now you can see that we do have this nice. You know what, Matt? I don't want to hear it.
I didn't.
I already heard the little voice.
That wasn't me.
It was me, Miriam, actually.
Wow. You know what?
Wow. You just naturally assume. Oh my goodness.
The thing is, I'm known for being the Beyoncé, whatever you want to call me. I am always looking for the downside moves, but I will tell you guys straight up, whenever I see a setup to the upside, I will be honest with you guys because we're not here to play what we want to play. We're here to play what the market tells us, right? So unfortunately for me, I see more of a bullish setup today. And the reason for that, I'll tell you guys before I get more shit from my co-hosts here. The reason I see that is because we have this trend line here that we're kind of knocking our heads on the NASDAQ. Now, again, this is a 1 hour trend, or actually this is a 4 hour trend line. You can see beautifully here on the 4 hour chart, we have this nice trend line sitting to the upside. So I would be expecting a break to the upside here. Now, we also have some demand zones sitting at the bottom here. We do actually have a 4 hour demand zone right here, as you can see, but we also have a nice 1 hour too. So I would expect if price comes back down to this 900 920 area, that we do get some sort of you know, bounce play here as well. Now for any sort of downside, okay, because of course we got to look at the downside too, right? Let me go back to the 1 hour chart here. VWAP is sitting right at this 21,845 area right now. Okay, so we are well above VWAP. Now if we do get back down to this level, if we do break this demand zone, I would expect for a possible bounce at this level as well. If we do break this level too, I do expect us to come down and potentially test this gap. Okay, so those are the levels to the downside that I'm looking at. And you don't have to be a technical analysis to see that we do have a trend line kind of forming here as well. So, we could potentially have, some sort of play to the downside. Otherwise, I am more, yes, I am saying it, I am more bullish for the day. So, some sort of resistance here. We have some sellers sitting at book maps at 22,020 and 22,050, and then a seller zone sitting here at 22,0930. So the safest setup, in my opinion, is going to be a break out of this area above 22,130. That was the same level here that we were kind of flirting with on Tuesday. We came back and tested it on Wednesday. Didn't quite make the break. So I think if we get the juice today, we can break out of the seller zone, because then we don't really have anything until this swing high that we made here on Monday. So if we can break Monday's high at 22,222, angel number, hey, we can make this upside move and potentially, just run for the day. Freaky Friday, guys, don't do anything crazy. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And I always say, make sure you are positioned for the weekend, right? You want to enjoy your weekend, right? You don't want to go into the weekend position too high. Now you blew a few accounts and now you're just pissed off around everyone that you want to be happy around. So just make sure you are well positioned for the day. ES, I'm going to go over really, really quickly here on ES. Same sort of trend line. I didn't drop for you guys, but we are trying to break this trend line right now. I mean, we are technically breaking it right now. So same sort of setup, I'm looking for 60-50, 60-60 to break. We have some sellers here on book maps, and then 60-75 really have some room to the upside here. The next level resistance I wouldn't see until the 6110 area, which is again Monday's swing high. So again, bullish on the day. So let's just see what happens.
Yeah, and Miriam, you said people should not do what you don't do, and that means nobody can go long today, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, don't watch me be bearish very quickly.
The thing is, even during a bullish day, you can catch bearish setups. And I will break down my London trade here in a second, because overall I am bullish for today, but I made my profits with a short today in the London session, so I'm still a bear, But before I break down that trade, also guys, I want to make sure that we get this stream to 250 likes, because I want to reward you guys all who are here bright and early with a nice giveaway, and we're going to do 100K straight to funded account giveaway. Just make sure to like the stream right now so we get to 250 likes. And then as soon as we reach that, we're going to do that first marbles race. Of course, I'm looking forward to that. I actually missed the marbles races yesterday. It was pretty boring day.
You could have just downloaded it and ran it on your own, Nick.
Well, I wouldn't go that far yet, but maybe in the future. Well, yeah, let's break down this London trade really quick. If we go to my charts here, basically, during the London session, or at least the session I trade, is from 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. EST, which is 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. my time. Now, London Open was pretty much at this candle right here. I'm just going to mark this with a red line. And then London, for me, the session close was right here. Now, what happened here? First of all, when we opened, we were still in a bit of a downwards move. We had news at, I think it was 8 a.m., but nothing significant. But we were a bit in a downside move, and I just waited, obviously, because there was no setup. Then we started literally climbing up very, very slowly from that 21,900-ish level, and we started to go up back to 21,944, which was the Asia session high. We ran into that, pretty much rejected it right away. And whenever that happens, for me, that is an indicator that I'm going to start looking for shorts. And then, as you guys all know by now, probably, I'm looking for bull flags and bear flags. So in this scenario, I was looking for a bear flag, and I had a nice bear flag that pretty much aligned with a trend line that started here at 3:06 a.m., touched again at 3:45 a.m., and then finally touched again at 4:22 a.m. and then finally broke at 4:25 a.m. And pretty much for me, as usual, the setup that I take is the bear flag, right? So we had the bear flag right here. Then we had a 1 minute candle that closed outside, which was this one, which means I entered right away when it closed. So I had my entry here, actually a bit later because of slippage. I had like, what's that, 1.75 points of slippage. My entry was at 21,920, and then I ran it for 23.75 points, pretty much targeting these lows here. And you guys know, like when I say I target the lows, I do not target the wick low. I actually target the candle body lows on the 5 minute charts. So as you can see here, well, now obviously everything just moved around, but as you can see here on the 5 minute chart, we have the candle body right here, and that was where I set my target. Obviously I could have held this for way longer, but you never know, right? How much further does the trade run? I don't know. So my target was set at these lows, and I had a stop loss of 8.75 points, so a total risk to reward ratio of 2.71 to 1. And funny enough, I was like 1 or 2 points in drawdown, and then it pretty much just ripped to the downside and hit my target pretty quickly. So that was the trade of the day for me so far. And yeah, let's see if we can get some nice ones during the US session as well.
So
Absolutely.
It sounds like we're all bullish on the day. Then this might be an anomaly.
Chat,
yeah,
it's 74% bullish as well.
It really is. And yeah, I mean, you know, first of all, I guess already in the stream, I'm getting blamed for shit that I didn't even do, but that's all right. You know, we'll talk about that later. So I love how you just assume like there's a scoff in the background. You're just like,
I heard something and I was like, it's Matt. I know it's Matt.
I mean, normally you'd be correct, but in this case, you were not. So for anyone in the chat, guys, if this is your first time watching Tradeify TV, can we get a hello or a 1? Just let us know it's your first time so that we can greet you. Second of all, I saw Boundless talking in the chat there, guys, and I want to emphasize his comment, guys. Obviously, we didn't have a show yesterday, but Wednesday we brought on Coach Tank, and he was with us for quite some time. That was Coach Tank's third appearance on Tradeify TV. No disrespect to any of our fantastic guests. Every guest we've had have been fantastic. I have no doubt Tyler's going to be fantastic today as well. But Coach Tank's on another level just in what he brings to the table. So go watch those 3 streams. That is your homework for this weekend. Especially watch yesterday's, and watch yesterday's with a pen and paper. And as good as Tank is live, I actually think he might be better on tape, because you can go back and rewind and pause and do all that, and really kind of, I know I watched it again yesterday, guys, and I took about 10 new things away from it. So, you know, obviously Tank's going to be a regular on this show going forward. If you make it to a live account here at Tradeify, you get to work directly with Tank in one-on-one and small group settings, which is honestly one of the coolest things I've ever heard when it comes to the prop firms and trading. That's just something you don't get other places. So it especially somebody of Tank's caliber that has worked with professional athletes, institutions, institutional traders. The people he's worked with manage billions and billions and billions of dollars. And us as retail traders, you make it to a live account with Tradeify, you can work with him. So make sure you go check that out. So, okay, we got a few people. So welcome, Friday Lover. That's a very good name for today as well. I see Bhaskar Sharma up there. Welcome as well. Sylvia, hello. Praise, hello as well. Second time here, SC. That's great. Keep coming back. We really appreciate you guys. So, team, I got to ask my fellow hosts. So we're all bullish today. So at what point is the world just going to end this weekend? I mean, this is surely a sign of the apocalypse. I'll go back and check the tea leaves or something. But this seems pretty ominous, which means we're definitely going to be closing red today, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, you never know what to expect on a Friday, right? Especially on a Friday like this. And I always said, I said this in the beginning of the week, contract rollover weeks are a little wonky. And we have gotten some, interesting price action this week is the way I'm going to describe it. But it's just on Fridays, you never really know what to expect. Contracts are expiring, people are ready for the weekend, and it's just the volume is it's volatile. It can be very volatile. Again, which is why I say, guys, always make sure you're managing your position sizes. Don't be going in on a Friday full port. We talk about full port Friday, but just be careful. But in terms of any bearish setups, Nick, I'm kind of curious. Do you see any sort of bearish setups here?
No, honestly, for now, I don't, unless my chart is still up here, so that's great. Unless we do this, here's what I'm seeing. If we, let me grab this little brush tool here. If we go up into previous month's high and we grab the liquidity up here, right? Pretty much taking out this high here on the left, I could see that we pull back and that would lead to potential bearish setups. But again, that is not what I'm expecting. It just could happen, and that is the way I would look at it. But if that does not happen, I'm just all bullish today.
All right, I like it. Also, I believe, is it quadruple witching today?
What's that?
Quad witching. So quad witching is essentially when you know, all contracts in the indices expire. So it's basically when 4 different contracts expire simultaneously. I believe I have, let me see here. So March 21st, yeah, June 20th, September 19th, and December 19th. These are the 4 dates in the year that coincide with the 3rd Friday of the month. So yeah, actually it is quad witching. So another reason to be extra careful. Is it triple or quad?
No, it is quad. I've got it pulled up right now. And quad is stock index futures, single stock options, options on stock index futures, and stock index options. I challenge even Eminem to rap that really, really fast. He probably could, but
well, we are Eminem, so
not. Yeah, so it's basically a lot of options, a lot of futures, a lot of options on futures, et cetera, et cetera. Happens just a handful of days per year. For this year, quad witching days are March 21st, June 20th, September 19th, and December 19th. So we'll keep that in mind. So yeah, guys, this is going to be probably one of the more unique price action days we've seen in a while. We've got quad witching. We've got the holiday yesterday off of FOMC. And so we have one day of full trading in basically 4 days when you include the weekend. We have the situation in Iran. It could be pretty chaotic today, guys. But right now, at least so far, the markets like what they're seeing as we're pushing towards. Are we pushing to session highs? Yes, we are pushing to session highs. So we'll see where we go from there. I can't help but notice, guys, we're right near and back towards that 22K level, which we couldn't seem to get a lot of pull away from until some bearish news on Iran and Israel. And so now we're back at that level. It's going to be interesting to see if we just pin to that level again, move 50, 60, 70 points away from it and come right back down to it. We saw that early in the week. It could be the case today. We see that again if the markets have just sort of priced everything in, and now we're in a situation where we're just in wait and see mode.
Yeah, but what we don't have to wait for is the giveaway, because you guys already smashed 250 likes. So what we're gonna do today is for the first one, we're gonna do a flash giveaway. Okay, we're gonna drop a keyword as usual. You only type that keyword once in the chat. You don't type it twice. You don't type it 3 times. It's gonna get you disqualified. You have to make sure that you have liked the stream, right? You have to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, and then you have 1 minute to enter that keyword. And after that, we're gonna just pick one very, very fast. All right. So that keyword, Miriam, I don't know if you saw it in the back end chat here, but I want you to announce the keyword because that's definitely your word.
All right, guys. So the keyword is 2 words. It's going to be Freaky Friday. Keyword is Freaky Friday.
Go for it, guys. That is for a 100K straight to funded account. So good luck, everybody.
Nice. There it goes.
And there it goes.
Also, guys, if you haven't already, make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel. Make sure that you also have the live setting on. So you should be able to see live with a red dot. If you don't see the red dot, that means you're not live. So this is going to be very important for making sure that you're tuned in with us.
Imagine somebody watches that right now in like 20 minutes.
Right.
Oh,
they're like, shoot.
They're like, Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, wait. Did somebody watch the clock? I didn't.
Oops.
Oopsies. They have 1 minute. Oh, actually, Drew is going to pull up the randomizer here. So we're going to see. He watched the clock for sure.
Oh, yeah.
We have 280 entries so far. Drew, whenever you have the 1 minute run out, feel free to pick. All right, there we go. Kareem, congratulations. You just won a 100K straight to funded account. Everybody else, you guys can stop typing Freaky Friday. It doesn't do anything anymore. So congrats, Kareem. Make sure to type something in the chat really quick so we see you're there. And also add your email into your YouTube channel description so we can actually reach out to you and send you the free code or the code for that free 100K straight to funded account. Congrats, Kareem.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
absolutely.
Yep. Yes, way. It is you, Kareem.
Make sure your email is in the description, guys. That's a good thing for all of you, because we're still running into people occasionally that win. And if your first time, your first week, no problem. But make sure, guys, you have in your YouTube description. You can look up how to do this if you don't know where all this is. But for your contact information, that your email is there, so we can reach out to you. Guys, when somebody has their email in their description, you get your code usually within an hour. So anytime we run into issues, it's because we can't contact you, and we need to make sure you are the winner. We don't want anyone sniping your prize. So for those of you that are regulars on this stream, make sure you do that.
Yeah, and everybody asking for the marble races. I mean, guys, come on. Obviously, we're gonna have marble races. We just wanted to do a flash giveaway here because you guys are up bright and early, showing up here, showing loyalty to the stream. So we thought, hey, let's do a quick extra run for you guys. But we obviously are gonna have marble races later down the stream. So don't worry about it. They're gonna come.
Yeah, we just, as Nick said, we just want to reward those of you that are here early in the stream. For those of you that pop in to hear the good morning Tradeify Nation, we want to make sure we're rewarding you guys. So we appreciate it. So, guys, I really think today could be an interesting day, and I don't mean like we're going to get a huge move up or a huge move down necessarily, but again, any kind of witching day, triple quad witching, whatever the case may be, you usually see a lot of swipes and a lot of stop runs. You see a lot of it could be a very interesting day on Bookmap today, Miriam. I'll be curious to see what you see there today as well, if you see any big orders. And the big boys are repositioning. Keep in mind, guys, today is also the last day. Well, I mean, it's part of witching, right? It's the last day of the June contract. So make sure you're on the September contract for the indexes, especially. It varies in some of the metals, but any platform worth its salt should have had you switch over on Tuesday or Wednesday, or I think TradingView automatically switched over if you're on the continuous contract on Monday. So just make sure today, guys, within the first couple hours of the open, the liquidity is going to dry up in the June contract. We don't want somebody getting stuck in a position and losing money. So just double, triple check and go from there.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think Bookmaps is gonna go a little crazy today. I don't see any significant sellers right now up until 22,150. 22,150 is also going to be obviously above this supply zone that we are currently underneath right now. But for me, I would love a retest of this 22,000 area. Now, it's not unlikely that we'll get it. We're only 30 points away, but a retest of this 22,000 on NASDAQ, I think, would put us in a nice bullish setup. I think at the very minimum, we would need to hold this 21,950, 945 level. And again, we have this demand zone sitting right here. So, I think if once we open and look at the markets and see what we're doing, I think we'll get a better sense. But this level really is going to be the line in the sand for me for bulls. It's going to be 21,860. 63 area. That's going to be also probably in line with what VWAP. It's going to be previous day, pre-market low sitting here too. So very, very key level that we have here at 21,860. So that's the line in the sand for me for bulls. If bulls fail that, they're dead to me.
Yeah, I mean, Miriam, you and I, we literally have the exact same trend lines and the exact same zones on here. So we're in alignment, and the chat seems to be too. Chat seems to be too. Chat is 73% bullish. 13% bearish and 14% flat. So let's see what's going to happen. Good. I mean, Matt, you must be a happy man today.
Well, I'm generally a bull, guys, but I don't sit here and, we laugh and joke on this stream, but we've all taken bullish positions. We've all taken bearish positions. But just, I tend to be a little, I came into the markets in the options and the swing trading space. So, I mean, for most, not all, but most of my 11 plus years in the market, it's been a buy the dip environment, right? Even going back to the end of the financial crisis in 08 and the early parts of 09, once things stabilized, guys, it's been, other than the COVID crash and a couple of weeks and months here or there, it's been a buy the dip mentality. And you know, as retail traders, especially in the futures market with billions of dollars trading hands on a second by second basis, like, you don't want to swim upstream, right? You don't, like, I live just a couple miles from the Mississippi. It's amazing driving over that thing, right? You can, the current moves so fast, and just imagine if you're a retail trader trying to swim against that, like, you're gonna tire out really quickly, and then the current's just gonna take you wherever the hell it wants to go anyway. So we're just trying to find where the current is and swim for a little while, and you know, that's probably one of the better analogies I've heard over the years when it comes to us as retail traders. I make the joke, you know, all of us watching this stream could put every dime we have into in an account and quadruple it, and we're still not going to be a drop in the bucket of the liquidity in the index futures market. So we're just going to try to participate in a move as it's happening.
100%. Yeah, we react. We don't try to predict. So
Nope.
I see T-Logic here, my fellow bear, just loving the fact that everyone is bullish on the day. He's like, ooh, this is perfect. Because we all know if there's a bullish setup, there's definitely a bearish setup. But love to see that. A lot of sellers sitting here at 22,050. I have that level sitting here also on my charts here. Could be a phantom order, but we do have a lot, like it's a wall of sellers. So I'd be curious to see how we react to this area once we open here. But that's just what I'm seeing. Not really seeing too much to the downside here, unfortunately. But
for now.
we'll see what happens when we open here. Also, I'd be curious to see where SPX opens here. I would be expecting some sort of gap up, or maybe not. Actually, we'll see, because we weren't open yesterday. So we'll see where SPX opens as well. That 6,000 area on SPX is also going to be an important area. On ES, that 6,000 area was also a very key level on here. And you know, we kind of flirted with it a little bit, but we're sitting well above that 6,000. And you know, for me, I'd be interested to see if we do get down there at any point this week.
Yo.
Today or tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but you know what I mean, today.
Mic check.
And on Monday as well. So yeah, that's gonna still be a level of interest for me on ES. But yeah, we'll see what we get today, guys. There's so much on in terms of, you know, some like background noise. Essentially, we got quad witching, we got the contract rollovers, we have geopolitical tensions, we got a lot of things going on. So again, I say this and I'm gonna continue to say it, but please watch your position size. Don't try to full port anything today. I promise you it's not going to be a good move.
All right, well, guys, you heard the mic check in the background, so you know we are ready to bring on our guest for the day. Very excited to welcome to Tradeify TV, Tyler Trades. Let's give Tyler the golf clap. Welcome on, everyone. Say hello to Tyler in the chat. Tyler, how are you today? Welcome to Tradeify TV.
Can you hear us now?
Anymore.
Oh, now he's muted.
No.
Now he's gone.
Hold on, just a
All
second.
right, did I break it?
Oh, you're back.
You are.
You're back.
Sorry, guys. I didn't know you guys could hear the mic check in the background. That's on me. Good morning, guys. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Happy to have you join us today on a beautiful Friday. Where are you joining from today?
I am joining from the beautiful state of Wisconsin. So, Matt, you got another Midwestern boy in the house today. So Midwest represented here. Yeah, we got Wisconsin in the building. So
I am a native cheesehead. I was born in Milwaukee.
Go Pack, go!
Yes, sir.
Come
Absolutely.
on. Let's go. It's going to be a good stream today.
It's going to be great, man. That's going to be great. So yeah,
Awesome.
I just set up down here, but eventually I'm going to get my stock certificate in the background there.
Oh, you got a shareholder?
I am, yes, sir.
Oh my gosh, I'm probably like 3 miles deep in the line, so I don't hold that honor, unfortunately.
That's hey. Anytime we can have a Packer fan on the stream, that's good. You know, I deal with all these people from Chicago. So, you know, it's nice to have that on. But Tyler, while we're waiting for the markets to open, why don't you give everyone just a couple of minutes of background? How'd you get into trading, and how have you gotten to this point in your career where you're successful and we're bringing you on a stream?
Yeah, well, I appreciate you guys having me first and foremost. First time on Tradeify TV, and obviously, guys, I've been trading for probably like 7-8 years now. I got introduced to it in college from a buddy of mine that I grew up with. He showed me a Forex chart. I believe we were just hanging out one night and he goes, all right, I got to go to bed. I got to wake up at like 2 a.m. to trade this thing called London session. And I'm like, what the heck is that? So he's like, I'll show you here quick. So he shows me a chart, shows me, as you guys know, the first time you saw a Forex chart, right? I'm looking at one of these things. I'm just like, what the hell is that? And he was like, well, I'm going to go to bed, man. I'll see you later. So I started looking into Forex trading. The problem is I was a broke college student, so I didn't have any money. So I remember I think I funded up like a $500 Forex account in like 2016, 2017, blew that. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to take a break because I don't have the money to afford this, I don't think. So I put trading aside for probably 3 years. And then like 2019, early 2020, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna dive back into trading. I'm gonna really learn how to do this the right way. And I got started in Forex. I think 2 years in, I made the switch over to futures, and I've been trading futures ever since. And I love it. So my journey goes Forex, crypto, never options. So I know that some of you guys have an options background, I believe, right? So
that's right.
Never did options, but I'm looking to get into that next. We'll get there when we get there. But yeah, futures is where my flag is planted.
We love it. So we got to know, are you a NASDAQ junkie as well?
I'm a NASDAQ G-Gen. I am guilty as charged.
Do you only trade NASDAQ, or do you also trade other?
I do look at the S&P. I mainly look to it for correlation. I'm looking for divergences between the two. Obviously, the ES and the NASDAQ are very closely correlated. So I'm looking for correlation or a break in correlation really between the two. I used to be an S&P trader, and then I would say like 2023, I just made the switch over to NASDAQ, and I've been loyal to NASDAQ ever since. I like to think of myself as a loyal guy, so I don't cheat on the NASDAQ. I stay loyal to it, and that's my coping that it'll treat me well over time.
And NASDAQ will know if you cheat on her. So
she will. She absolutely will. She knows how to stalk you, so that's very true.
She's just gonna hunt your stop like crazy if you cheat on her.
Yep.
But Tyler, what is the strategy that you trade?
Yeah, I am an ICT concepts trader. And I think there's a lot of misconception around like ICT trading in general. So I'll preface by saying this. I used to trade probably every other strategy under the sun. My friend that got me introduced to trading was an ICT trader. He was actually a part of ICT's like private mentorship way back in the day. And I remember when he was first trying to explain some strategy stuff to me, I thought it was really confusing. And I'm like, this goes way over my head. I need something way more simplified. So probably for my first 3 years, I did everything else. I did support and resistance trend lines. I had every indicator you could think of on my chart, Bollinger Bands, stochastic RSIs. I'm like, you're telling me I can look at overbought and oversold, and that's all I need to know about when we're buying and when we're selling. And, I did the ring around the rosy with strategy hopping for a really long time. Eventually landed on ICT concepts just because it just makes the most sense to me. I believe that the markets are manipulated. I believe that the market is only ever doing one of a couple of things, which is seek and destroy liquidity and rebalance. And a lot of times it's doing both at the same time. I don't believe that the markets move at random. I think it's always moving with a purpose to take liquidity from the average person in the market. So I think ICT logic just resonates with me. So I've stuck with it. And that's what I've used now for probably the last 3 years. So yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm interested to see what you see in the markets today. That's definitely going to be interesting to us because we all don't trade ICT. So it's going to be a good mix.
Yeah, I was listening to your guys' pre-stream analysis here, and I agree with you guys. I mean, I'm definitely leaning on the bullish side today. Obviously, it's quad witching. So it is Freaky Friday officially, in more ways than one. And I was just watching price. Last night when we opened up, obviously we had this face ripping move to the upside, and now we just see price continuing higher. So to me, I'm kind of looking for like the FOMC data high / Wednesday high. As of this moment, obviously we'll see as market opens up here in a little bit what we end up doing. But I was in agreement with what you guys were seeing as well this morning.
So can you walk us through like what, in terms of like the ICT method, what would be what you look for in that sort of strategy here? Yeah.
So I would say the main thing that I'm looking for generally most of the time is I'm looking for obviously where the next draw on liquidity is. So for example, like my bias going into the rest of the week after Wednesday, so after FOMC, I was a bear on Wednesday. So I was able to capitalize on this short move. I took a couple of paper cuts getting wicked up a little bit. But I ended up catching this short move. I wanted to see a movement all the way down to this previous weekly low. So I'm generally looking for, okay, where's price heading towards? Is it heading toward a previous session high or low? Is it heading toward a previous day, previous weekly high or low? What is that next draw on liquidity? It could be a higher time frame imbalance, something like that. And I'm trying to identify the power of three, I guess, kind of that takes me to that draw on liquidity, if that makes sense, right? So I'm trying to identify the manipulation that took place that kind of liquidated traders in the opposite direction or trapped traders in the opposite direction. And then I'm trying to catch that distribution towards whatever I feel like that draw is. So like, for example, right now, that draw for me would be this FOMC data high and Wednesday high, if that makes sense.
And those letter, I can't see your, I'm blind.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What are those price points?
The price point, the FOMC data high, we have 22,083 and the Wednesday high 22,098. So pretty relative equal highs here. As you kind of zoom out and just look further back, we have this trend line liquidity as well. So kind of the running joke, I think this is why some of the ICT traders get a bad rep, and it's because a lot of them are strategy absolutists. And they think that their strategy is the best. I don't know if that's something that is common amongst just ICT community, or if that's something that is common amongst like all traders. Everybody wants to believe that they have the best strategy. But this is kind of, the idea is looking to kind of target the retail strategies, if that makes sense, in terms of like, this would be a trend line that a lot of people would be fading. And I'm looking to do the opposite of that. I'm looking to trade through this. And I view this as trend line liquidity rather, or low resistance liquidity run. So to me, that's what we're seeing play out, currently. So we'll see if that continues.
All right, that's interesting. So I do want to just pull back a little bit here on, because I've said behind the scenes, I think I may be the only person on the planet that doesn't have some sort of opinion on ICT. It seems like we've had a number of traders on who are consistently profitable traders, such as yourself, and use that methodology. So I'm forced to conclude that there obviously is something to it. But at the same time, like I really liked what you said about strategy jumping, and I think people get too obsessed with, does strategy A versus B versus C work? And does your strategy need to have a definable statistical edge? Of course it does. That's the starting point. But it's something as simple as certain candlestick patterns. I know a guy who is profitable. He does nothing but trade engulfing candles. Not every candle all the time, but he has certain criteria that he looks for. And I think it's very common, and you mentioned this as well, I was the same way, to jump around to a lot of strategies. But once you lock in on something that has an edge in the way that you use it, however that may be, most of the strategies that I trade will be things that I've taken from somebody else and adjusted to my particular risk level or risk tolerance. But it is interesting, and I love what you said about that. Once you kind of locked into something and really just kind of went with it and made it your own, that you began to see some consistent results.
Yeah, I mean, I always tell people that the edge doesn't make the trader makes the edge, right? And I really believe that. I believe that you can be profitable with any strategy. It doesn't matter if you trade trend lines, support resistance, if you do use indicators, if you don't, supply demand. I mean, I've like I said, I've won with every strategy I've tried, and I've lost with every strategy that I've tried. And at the end of the day, the only thing that has made any strategy work for me over any period of time is my ability to control myself. Anytime that I've ever blown up, anytime that I've ever lost way more than I intended to, was not because the strategy was failing me. It was because I was failing myself with my risk management, over trading, revenge trading, just being an emotional mess. And, the market is relentless. The market will take and take and take, and it'll stay, regardless of your logic, it'll stay irrational way longer than most traders can stay solvent. And I found that to be really true. And that's why trading is hard, right? It's something that takes a lot of time, because you come into it. It's easy to be good at winning, obviously. But it's when you face adversity, when you take losses, what do? Do you strategy jump? Do you look for like the next best thing that's never going to lose? Newsflash, it doesn't exist. Or, are you going to learn from it, and do better the next time? I just think that, as traders, we go through a lot of, setbacks early on, and you're kind of losing as we're figuring it out. But once you've been burned by the stove enough times, you start to learn not to touch it. And you realize what you can get away with and what you can't. So to me, the strategies comes secondary to all of that.
I have a bit of a random question here. I started to see this, that every single ICT trader trades with light mode charts. Nobody's in dark mode. Is that like an ICT anything? Or
This is actually, I can confirm this is a fact.
honestly, you might be onto something there. I'm not gonna lie, I did have the dark mode rocking for a little bit. Oh yeah, see, nope. Already, no, we're going back. But I think you might be onto something there. That might be a thing because I've noticed the same thing. So I'm not sure. It's the dark mode hasn't set in with me just yet. I still see the light.
I would go blind looking at this.
I know. Thankfully I got these lights in front of me. Otherwise my retinas would be just burning.
Man.
Tyler, you underestimate the power of the dark side.
I did. We got Tradeify. What was it? Tradeify TV dark hours.
After dark.
Talk about that.
After dark.
Or after dark. That's what it was. Yeah. I got to be invited onto that if we ever do one of those.
We try not to go completely off the rails on this show while we have a guest. So
well,
keep watching when you're done, and I'm sure we'll be in the gutter by the end of the day.
Perfect. Hey, no judgment here.
We hope you'll still be around for the next time we have you on as well.
Listen, I just hope not to be an instigator too much. But no promises.
We love it. Well, I want to know too. I mean, I know we have about less than we have 20-ish minutes, 22 minutes until the market opens here. But I'm curious to know, like, what were some of the things that you struggled with when you first started trading, and what are some of those things that continue to kind of become pain points for you as a trader here?
Yeah, I would say early on, like I said, I think one of my biggest issues was strategy jumping because, I had such an ego problem with being wrong and accepting that I was wrong that I always wanted to kind of impose my will on the market. And I still fall into that at times to an extent, but not to the extent like I used to. It's definitely way more under control nowadays. And I would say, to be honest with you, one of the things that helped me a lot was a couple years ago, actually putting myself out there in the public eye with just like sharing my analysis or sharing my thoughts or the trades that I was taking, because it did hold me accountable. It's easy when you have no accountability whatsoever, right? You have no community, you have no sense of anybody else to kind of, again, hold you accountable to your habits. You end up kind of just sweeping these bad habits under the rug, right? You kind of tell yourself like, oh, well, yeah, I messed up this time, but I won't do it again. I'll just sweep it under the rug, pretend it didn't happen. And I don't actually have to like face it and fix it. Versus like me putting myself out there and knowing that I will be embarrassed and I will be held accountable if I do mess up, right? Because I'm sitting here preaching all of this stuff online about risk management and not being an emotional trader, not being a FOMO trader, all of these things. So if I do those things, I expect the people that are watching me or listening to me to call me out on it because I should be called out on it, But I would say those are my biggest pitfalls early on, is obviously all the things that all traders go through: strategy hopping, revenge trading. And again, once you touch the stove enough times, eventually you learn that if you keep doing it, nothing's going to change, right? The kind of the cliche saying that is, once the pain of staying the same outweighs the pain of change, that's when you'll change. And I find that to be the only thing really that's going to get anybody from point A to point B in their trading. Once the pain is enough, you'll eventually learn.
I've always loved the saying that's when it comes to anything that you try in life, you're going to have the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And the pain of discipline is always going to be less over the long term. Maybe in the short term, it's a little tougher. Right. But yeah, it's why I tell people they need to get through that first year of trading, right? Because one of the things I've said on this show multiple times, and you just alluded to it in a couple of different ways, is that the first few months of everybody's trading career, nearly everybody, is filled with negative feedback in the form of losing trades, in the form of busting out eval accounts, in the form of people, in your life maybe not being as supportive as you would like them to be. It's almost constant negativity, and you got to push through that, and you got to overcome that. And so it's one of those things that a lot of people just, at least initially, are not equipped to deal with that level of negativity without sort of retreating a little bit. And so it's one of those things that's just so difficult. And it's people think that there's some, I'm not trying to be funny here, but I've met a lot of traders over the years that are extremely smart individuals. I've met some very profitable traders that, by their own admission, are not the smartest, sharpest knives in the drawer. Yeah. So, and yet they're successful because they're able to push through. To me, trading is one of the ultimate forms of shows mental toughness, and being able to get over that first 6 to 8 months, that first 12 months to hopefully get to the point where you're profitable is very, very difficult. So I'm assuming that's something you experienced as well.
Yeah, well said. I mean, emotional intelligence was the word that came to mind as you were kind of going through that, right? That's just that ability to just control yourself. And obviously we're all human beings. We're not perfect. I don't really buy into the whole, like, you're never going to feel emotions. I believe actually, Miriam, I saw a reel that you put out not too long ago. You were actually saying this, you're like, you're going to feel the emotions. Like, it's normal. And I think that this notion that some people put out there that, like, oh, you're a robot when you trade. And yes, you are to an extent, but that doesn't mean that you don't feel emotions. You're going to feel the emotions of the market at all points in time. At least I believe. Like, I've been doing this for a number of years and I still feel emotions when I'm trading, whether I'm in drawdown, whether I take a loss, whether I feel a little bit of euphoria when everything just works out perfectly or whatever it might be. It's really about just like how do you manage that? What do you do with those emotions that, again, kind of makes or breaks the long run? Because here's the crazy thing. You could be doing, and a lot of traders in the chat have probably experienced this, I would imagine, as you guys probably have, where as you're kind of making that turn from still figuring it out to like kind of finding your footing and finding some consistency, you'll do good for a while. You're right. You can be good for a couple of weeks, a couple of months, maybe even a few months. And then it just takes one day to wreck it.
Right.
That's how fragile trading is. You just have to be off your game or, going on tilt just one time, and all of your progress can get wiped out in one trading session if you will allow it. So I like what Nick does as well, where he locks his trading laptop literally in a safe with a timer. I mean, it's call it what you want, but it works, it's effective, and that's the only way to prevent yourself from doing stupid stuff sometimes, is just get away from the charts. Don't even allow yourself to hurt yourself, really.
Yeah.
If it works, it works. Whatever.
If it works, it works.
It works for you. I mean,
that's right.
Do it.
All right, guys. So we're a little over 6 minutes from the New York Open this morning. So, Tyler, I do have to ask you a very serious question, and I just want you to know this will highly influence everybody's opinion of you, and we will judge you no matter what the answer is. No pressure. Hot or iced coffee?
Oh,
I was expecting the bull or bear question. I'm not gonna lie.
I was too, actually.
Hot. We gotta go hot. I got my hot coffee here in the
Ding, ding,
Yeti.
ding, ding.
This is gonna stay hot all session. So
thank you.
Yeah,
all right.
I'm a hot coffee guy through and through. Plus, being in Wisconsin, I mean, iced coffee. It's just like, dude, no, we get enough ice 6 months a year.
Well, that's why I asked that question, because I knew what the answer was going to be. A good Wisconsin boy is, I don't care if it's the middle of summer, you're drinking hot coffee.
Yep, exactly.
Well, but now we still need to ask the other question: bull or bear?
I am a perma bull at heart. I am, but I'm not gonna lie. I do find shorting way more fun.
Woo!
So call me a rebel maybe, but
what a diplomatic answer!
Right.
It really is. I prep for this. You could tell.
When are you
You really did do your homework. I will tell you that.
You launching your congressional campaign?
I was gonna say I'm running for office 2028. So
yeah, there you go.
I'm practicing with this, but yeah,
you're running under the ICT party.
Yep, exactly. We're making a new third party, and that's the one. So
that was such a neutral Swiss answer, dude. You could become a Swiss citizen. You're good.
Honestly, I don't have the stats to back this up, but I'd be willing to bet that I probably take more shorts on an intraday basis, if I'm being totally honest. But I am a perma bull at heart. I really am. I just have to throw that out there.
That's fair. I'll take it. You can stay.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I really am riding the fence with that one. Sorry, Chad. But hey, it
was the hot coffee that really won you over. So
there you go. Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Well, we love to see it. I mean, right now, the market hasn't really done too much since we've really been talking here. What would be a bearish scenario for you today?
Yeah, I would obviously love to see these highs be taken. I would say it wouldn't surprise me though if obviously we got market open here in 5 minutes or so. It would not surprise me to see us come up, leave a lower high up in here and kind of generate some more buy side, and then see price actually retrace here at the open. This wouldn't surprise me is all I'm saying. It also wouldn't surprise me if price just jumped right through these highs at opening bell. But a bearish scenario for me would be, I would say if that can happen, like if I scale in here, I like to wait for the first 15 minutes usually of market open to play out before I engage. I'm not somebody that tries to engage like right away at the open. So sometimes I miss moves because of that, but I like to think that it saves my you-know-what more often than not. So I would say, for example, right here, we just had an impulse on the 1 minute. Again, market opens here in a few minutes, so we'll see what happens. But a bearish scenario potentially would be if we were to maybe start diverging with ES here and then got a displacement through this inefficiency and kind of shifted some market structure here, would maybe lead me to believe that we could see price actually retrace again back into these higher time frame imbalances, maybe like this 15-minute imbalance that overlaps this structure right here. Could be an area where I'd be interested in then going long, right? Because if I'm just measuring out premium and discount of this last leg, I generally like to be longing in a discount, and I like to be shorting in a premium. So to me, I'm viewing price right now as being in a premium, obviously with higher to go. But if we were to get this pullback into here, that's where I'm then looking to engage for longs towards this, right? Like I'm not going to, at this point at least, I'm not going to hop in along here and get to here. You could. I'm not saying that's wrong if you do. It's just not something that I'm probably looking to do at the moment. And here we go, getting that push as we're talking.
Right into those highs that you were mentioning.
2 minutes and 10 seconds until market open here.
Yep. And then obviously if we get the run through this and then see price turn, I'm definitely feeling more comfortable with shorting after that case as well. So
I'm wondering if we got some news about to pop here, because
looks like it.
I mean, we are moving. We do have a recent history of the last Nick, you've brought this up, last 2 or 3 minutes going into the New York Open. People are kind of front running the Open a little bit, so we'll see. But yeah, we are now, let's see, just over a minute and a half away from the New York Open. We've had these situations where like we just go at the Open, and it seems like we're doing that a little early, whether it's up or down. We're just, the market opens and we get a 5 to 10 minute trend, and then we consolidate for a while. So kind of be interested to see where we open here. So yeah, okay. So we've got. We'll ask you guys to put your questions in the chat as we open. Obviously, we're going to concentrate on the Open here and let you know if there's anything any of us see that's worth jumping in. But we are now 1 minute from the Open. What is your last like 5 to 10 minutes? I know you're with us today, Tyler, but what did you look at for those last couple of minutes before the market's open?
Yeah, I'm really just trying to anticipate what is about to potentially take place, so I can then, in 10, 15, 20 minutes-ish time, I can then be ready to execute if something does present. So like right now, we're seeing price diverge. I said I was waiting to see if we maybe would diverge between ES and NQ, which we are getting now. With this Wednesday high, we're seeing NQ having traded through those highs while ES has not traded through those highs. So if you are a bear, technically you would probably make the case that you'd rather be shorting the weaker asset. Now, I don't cheat on NQ, so I probably won't be doing that, just to be honest, but just for conversation's sake, I suppose. But this is the divergence that we're starting to see, right? So that crack in correlation between the two with structure, NQ making a higher high, ES making a lower high. So now as, if we scale in and as price starts potentially turning around, it just adds a little bit more confidence to those shorts because of that divergence at those highs.
All right, guys. So we're a few seconds late, but we just opened. So ding, ding, motherfuckers.
I was waiting for it.
Well, I didn't interrupt our guest. That would be rude.
Dang, I'm sorry, dude. That's a tradition here. I missed that.
Matt, we must make this a rule. No matter who speaks, even if we have like Donald Trump on, you are gonna say "ding ding, motherfucker" at 9:30.
Okay.
That's a rule.
Yes. I will interrupt. If we have Trump on as a guest, I will interrupt him. That will go very well for all of us.
Interrupt everybody. It doesn't matter.
9:30 that we're gonna get the FBI kicking in our doors within an hour. So no, we're good. I'm good. Thanks.
All right.
Well, we had a bit of a down to that 22,050 area. We are getting a nice little push here to the upside.
We are.
Yep. Opening bell madness. Quad witching today as well. We already covered that, didn't we? But
yeah, we did.
Yeah. So, now sitting right at that previous month high in that area that I marked out during the pre-market prep. So let's see how the market reacts here. That's what I'm interested in.
Crazy wick on the daily. Tough to want to fade that, but I could maybe be crazy enough to.
So what are you looking at right now, Tyler? Like, what are your key areas for the next couple minutes?
Yeah, I'm just waiting to see if this area, actually shows us any sign of or willingness to go lower, any willingness to maybe print some structure and then, shift market structure for the downside here. Obviously, if price does keep displacing higher through these highs, I'll have to probably take a step back and reassess. You can see that ES, on the 1 minute here is now starting to kind of flip these bullish PD arrays a little bit and print some bearish PD arrays. So a PD array, all that is in ICT terms, it's a fancy way of saying it's one confluence that you would look for any sort of a trade, if that makes sense, right? So you see ES, which we talked about was probably the weaker asset. You can see that this imbalance, poor drawing there, this imbalance here on this up close candle, if I zoom in so you guys can see that better, this is something that would signify bullish order flow. And you can see how that got ran through here and disrespected. And now we've created actually a bearish imbalance. So this would be what's referred to in the ICT community as a balanced price range, or a BPR, basically just two overlapping fair value gaps. However, at the same time, you see NQ still holding that relative strength against it. We are very early, obviously only a few minutes into the open here. So still would just sit to kind of just let this play out. But if we do start seeing price quickly displace lower, to me, it's going to be setting up a nice short opportunity to at least rebalance this leg to about equilibrium at a minimum. That's what I would be looking for.
Tyler, how many trades do you take typically in a normal day on average?
If it's a good day, one.
Okay.
If it just goes perfect and I get my move that I'm anticipating to play out with a nice winner, I'm one and done, one shot, one kill. I would say though about 3 strikes and I'm out though. If I will allow myself 2 or 3 trades in a session. If I'm feeling, again, confident in a draw, I'm confident in a move playing out, I will allow for that. And I just think it's an important aspect of my trading with my risk management, at least, is, when I started downsizing and allowing myself to take on, be wrong more. I'm giving myself more room for error, really helped me. Because it's tough when you take, a few L's, which every trader will, right? Your strategy will have its moments and it will have its not so hot moments. And to me, I think you got to leave yourself some room to be wrong, and potentially be wrong a few times in a row. You should be able to endure a little bit of a losing streak, whether it's 3, 4, 5 trades, without blowing yourself up, right? So I would say about 2 to 3 is about average, I would say. Okay.
Yeah, that's actually true. I went through your entire YouTube channel and looked at your lives, and you always have the results in the thumbnails and the titles. And I know it's actually 2 to 3 a day. Yeah,
and I'll be totally transparent and honest here. It has been a little bit rougher sledding for me in terms of just like, I'm not getting those sessions where I'm getting like one clean trade and I'm off, right? Like even like FOMC, I took a couple paper cuts trying to short before the actual move played out. Now I caught it, thankfully. That would have really sucked if I took a couple L's shorting and then the move played out without me. Granted, that can happen, but June has been tough a little bit in terms of whether I'm getting either left behind on a move, like Matt, you were saying earlier, how market just kind of like moves right at the open, and that's a little bit tough. If I've got an area that I'm wanting to trade into and price kind of goes right there at the open, well, now, I gotta wait for more structure to print so I can get another idea cooking. But things like that have made it a little bit tougher, you could say, but it's been interesting times trading, right? Obviously we had all the tariff stuff in April. I mean, if you just look at like the monthly and the weekly candles, right? Like this is the monthly chart just for reference. We get this huge sell-off here in March and then again in April. And then before April even finishes, we flip the entire month green. And then we recover the entire short in May. And now here we are in June and you kind of see the volatility drying up a little bit. So it's been a little bit more challenging with that, but we're just trying to make it through and come out the other side green as best we can. So
absolutely. Yeah, it can be tough as a trader to go through these seasons, right? Where, like your confidence is just depleted from taking losses, and it's confusing. It can be very confusing sometimes 'cause you're like, is it my strategy? Is something off with me? Like, and I always say like don't trade when you're emotionally charged, meaning like anything. It could be anything good happening in your life or bad happening in your life. Like, I mean, we go through seasons as a trader, and it can be rough. So what do you do when you go through these sort of dry spells or moments of like nothing seems to be working?
I just cry, honestly. No,
It's okay.
I mean, it is what it is. I've been trading luckily long enough now that this isn't my first time going through something like that. Like ruts happen with every trader at all points throughout the year. Sometimes you're just really, really hot. Like March, I would say March and April were probably my best months so far for the year. And then the second half of May and probably this beginning part of June have been a little bit lackluster. And you really but that is when you have to lean on risk management and your experience to guide you. Because again, winning is easy. When you're on a winning streak and everything's going great and you're getting qualified for payouts and all these types of things, like that's not hard. Any trader can be happy-go-lucky and positive when that's happening.
Right.
It's how do you handle adversity? And that's the one thing that's coming for all of us, especially as traders. So that's where you really get to see what you're about in those moments. So I just think you got to take it head on, and honestly, it's a opportunity to really gauge where you're at. Right? Are you as seasoned of a trader as you hope that you are? And you find out in those moments. So
Yeah.
Tyler, you talk like somebody that's read a little bit of Mark Douglas in his day. Am I correct in
I
picking
got the
that
book.
up?
It's somewhere. I got the book though. Yes, I have read some Mark Douglas.
Okay.
Trading
Yeah,
in the Zone.
outstanding.
Yep, I've read The Mental Game of Trading. That's another good one.
Mhm.
So yeah, I've done my fair share of personal development. When you're trying to figure out the answers, you'll take it all.
I think it's an interesting pattern. Like so far, every single guest that we had on has read Mark Douglas. So
Oh
coincidence.
yeah, it's one of the best.
Yeah, I think he was one of the pioneering people in the trade psychology field, and we've got people like Brett Steenbarger, who are psychologists who learned about trading and approached it from that angle. But Mark Douglas was really the first trader who, after having years of success and years of failure, making and losing by his own admission tens and hundreds of millions of dollars, that that looked at psychology from a trading perspective. And as I've said, it's one of the coolest things of the last like 10, 15 years is, more conversations about mental health, especially among us guys. And listen, I've said many times, if any of you guys out there, if you feel there's something going on, like really diagnosable with mental health, please go see a professional. But when it comes to trading, there's all those little things that crop up, which aren't necessarily any sort of major mental health issues or even defects in your personality, but they're just things that need to be managed to be a successful trader. And I like what you said earlier, Tyler, because I am under the impression, and my belief is that you're never going to suppress your emotions when it comes to trading. It's just too emotional to us, both the money, the things that money provides, and yes, there's a healthy dose of ego in it as well, but it's also just not letting those emotions influence your decision making. You can sit there and be pissed off your trades in the red or be celebrating your trades in the green, but as long as you don't click that button until your setup tells you to click that button, you're going to do all right.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Well said.
By the way, June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month.
Oh, excellent.
So something to keep in mind of, guys.
Yep. Definitely doesn't
We
get
are
talked about
pushing to
enough.
the upside here. Tyler, what are you looking at now? Like, what does this look like for you?
Yeah, I'm just waiting, letting this play out. Obviously, we're still seeing price push. One thing that I do center my trades around a lot is time and price. So as we roll into 9:40, so we've got like a good 10 minutes until what we refer to as the macro begins, which is just a fancy way of saying the tops of hours. So usually the last 10 minutes of an hour going into the first 10 minutes of the following hour is where you'll see a lot of volume come in, and price will make moves to wherever the draw is, whatever price is drawing towards.
Oh,
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
yeah.
Oh.
I don't know what that
Oh,
was.
Sorry, I think my Ninja Trader just disconnected and reconnected. Sorry about that. But so I would say as we're gearing up here towards the top of the hour, My bias really doesn't change because, like I said, I'm not interested personally in chasing this. So as this just keeps pushing higher, we've just seen price since it opened up last night just keep pushing higher. So, I again perma bull at heart, but I try to be realistic, and I know that stonks can't just go up forever. They have to come down sometimes too. So as of this moment, I would say that I'm pretty much interested in shorts until we see price give us some degree of a pullback at this point.
I've often said there's nobody more excited for pullbacks than perma bears like you and I, because it creates value, it creates opportunity, whether on the short term, the swing trading. I may not participate in a ton of bigger moves down, but I love every second of it because it gives more opportunity to the upside. Right.
And again, it was bullish going into the morning here. But this was my short-term buy-side target that I wanted to see traded into. And again, on the hourly, the 4 hour is going to be closing here in like 18 minutes. So obviously we'll see where we're at when that candle prints. A lot could change in 18 minutes, but there's a lot of reason for price to at least rebalance into some of these levels before just continuing higher. I just feel like, again, I know, Matt, you're a guy that uses standard deviations, which I use as well. Like for right now, I got the standard deviations of Asia range kind of plotted on my chart here, and anything above 2 standard deviations, I mean, we are, based on a bell curve statistical point of view, like we're getting a little bit more an outlier range here, for an intraday basis. So just keeping that in mind as well. Just again, you're never going to be perfect with trading. You're never going to know. None of us have a crystal ball. It's really just about how can you put yourself in what seems to be the highest probability direction. To me, if I'm doing that more often than not, I can take some losses and know that in the long run, I'm going to come out on the right side more often than not.
Absolutely. And I love to hear you talking about the standard deviation, basic understanding of statistics and probability. It's something I've often said. I think every trader should have that, because when you learn what price, you talk about chasing, and that was one of the things that helped me to stop chasing. I'm a reform chaser. Was when you realize price action is outside of its ATR, or price action is outside of the plus or minus 2 standard deviation bands, you're in statistical anomaly territory. And so what's normal just doesn't apply there, right? The markets are running on fundamentals and emotion at that point, which is not something we as retail traders want to be involved in, because we have no edge in that. So I've told people on this show many times, guys, you don't need a degree in statistics or probability, but spend just an hour. Maybe I'll look up this weekend. I'll try and find a couple and I'll recommend them to you guys. But you don't even have to do it from a trader's perspective. Just find like a 30 to 60 minute YouTube video that explains the bell curve. It explains statistics, standard deviation. It's not as complicated as it initially seems, and it will give you a little insight into when the markets are in extreme buyer, extreme seller situations.
All right, guys, we have 40 seconds here until the 15-minute opening range has formed. So far, it's sitting between 22,040 and 22,131.25 on NASDAQ. Let's see if it extends further, but I doubt it.
Do you guys, anybody trade the orb?
Yeah, I love trading. I think we all tend to look for the first 15 minutes here.
Yeah, we just have different setups for it.
Yeah, it's interesting now. We reached the top of that seller zone that we were talking about. That's also the high of Tuesday. When you look at the charts here, so we are in an interesting area here. I would be curious to see it. It looks like bulls really want to take this. We came down and retested this 100 area, but so far, if I go down to the 2-minute chart here, you can see that we kind of tapped the top of the supply zone. So for me, I would be curious to see how we do if we come back and retest this 100 area. Otherwise, I see a bearish setup setting up here very nicely if bulls kind of lose this zone. Very nice short setup to the top here. I didn't take this, but if we can get this moved down to the downside and break this 100, which we are kind of testing right now. Otherwise, bulls really have to step in here, in my opinion, and make this move back up. So let's see. We got the opening range identified here. So let's draw that out. So then what are you looking at now that we've got this opening range set up?
Yeah, I am looking, obviously now we just closed the 15-minute candle. We are in the last 15-minute candle of this hourly candle. And I'm seeing here now on the lower time frames as well as the higher time frames that divergence is still holding at that Wednesday high between NQ and ES. And now we're seeing on the lower time frame another divergence taking place between or did I miss it? Oh, I take that back. I eat my own words. Forget everything I just said the last 10 seconds. We're not diverging here on the 1 minute yet. But no, I'm looking for right now, at least I'm leaning towards maybe at 10 a.m., potentially sooner, depending on if we get any displacement here soon, potentially a 10 a.m. reversal back into, again, some of these lows that are resting here, right? The only people that have had any chance to make any money overnight and in pre-market are the bulls. You know, so, you know, at some point you've got, you know, stops trailed along these lows, et cetera, et cetera. Like at some point we got to come back and wipe some of these out, is my logic here. So I'm not looking at it from a 15-minute orb perspective, you could say, but it's funny how, and this is again why I'm not a strategy absolutist. It's so funny how some of the best trades either direction will have, like, a lot of strategies will have caught that trade, you know, whether it's opening range breakout, whether it's something, you know, supply and demand, whether it's ICT concept traders, you know, EMA crossover traders, VWAP, I mean, volume profile. It's funny how some of the best trades and the best moves will have a confluence amongst all these strategies.
Right.
Which is why, to me, it's silly to debate like, oh, this strategy is better than this one. It's like,
Totally.
I just don't agree with that logic and that line of thinking.
I love that you said that, because that's so true. We're all seeing the same thing,
Right.
right? We could call it different things, but we're all seeing the same thing. If we're looking, the charts don't change depending on your strategy. So, yeah, I love that you said that. It really is, like, so funny to me when people give certain traders so much shit for what they trade. It's like, if it's working for them, let it work. Like,
Right.
we're all the same
Exactly.
team here.
Yep.
So. Yeah, and an interesting range that we're in here too. It's like, you know, we hit the top of that that supply zone, but right now, I mean, you know, I would look for us to break the opening range here at 22,037, which, you know, bulls are not doing a great job, in my opinion, right now, holding previous day, or I mean, holding this supply zone. We really got a strong, you could see that this is still a very strong level. So for me, I'll be interested to see how we do at this 22,050 area. I might consider a short. Might consider a short here coming up soon.
Yeah, I'm gearing up to maybe take one as well.
Let's see
what happens. We're now right away sitting up previous month high. It's literally right there. Let's see if that holds.
Yeah, I would say the most aggressive types of traders, like in the ICT space, at least, like there'll be people that are selling above this, like buying or selling the stops above that Wednesday high. I don't really like doing that because you don't get any confirmation and price could just rip right through. And I also don't know where to put my stop loss trading that way. But I know without a shadow of a doubt, there's people that are shorting this if they're a little bit more risque, you could say. You know,
we like it.
Shorting after dark.
Yeah, a little bit cleaner structure here on the ES on this 5 minute as well. You can see we actually have what will potentially end up being in the next 30 seconds here, a nice bearish order block on ES. So the logic here would be, if we get this closure below here, I would anticipate and want to see this hold for lower, potentially trade back into this area. Probably would go stop at this high here, and then just see if we get that follow through to the downside here. But you can see the speed that we're picking up.
Yeah.
And the volume coming in here in the literally last 10 minutes of the hour here now in the macro.
I'm watching this very closely.
NQ is a little bit messier in terms of these wicks here, but.
All right, I went ahead and took that short here at 22,057. I'm in a short on MNQ. I took, oh, you can't see my levels here. 22,057. My target is going to be 22,041.
Yeah, I am waiting for this 2 minute to close. I'm using the 2 minute just because, to me, the print is a little bit cleaner. People ask, like, what time frame do you enter off of? And I enter anywhere from the 1 to the 5 minute. It really makes no difference to me. It's just kind of where I can find the cleanest entry point. But I'm looking, if we can get this close here and leave this gap, I'm gonna put a limit order here at 69.
All right. Let me see why it's not showing up here. My stop on this play, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave a decent stop on this. I'm gonna do 75. Let's see why. There it is. All right, we are hovering at this take profit zone, not yet wanting to take it, but all right, I just took my first take profit there at 41.50.
Nice.
Nice.
All right, I'm gonna move my stop for the rest at break even. A little
Very
below.
nice.
Always nice to be risk out on a trade.
Yep.
All right, next take profit, I'm gonna take at this low here, 27.
Also, guys in the chat, make sure that you like the stream right now, because at 600 likes, we're gonna do the first marble race of the day. Second
Ooh.
Oh.
first marble race. Have you ever seen our marble races, Tyler?
I you know what? I checked out, I forget which episode it was, but I did see you guys do one. I did watch that one, yes. I was actually looking for a Mario Kart theme song that I could play during that, because that was requested, and you would be surprised how hard it is to find the actual theme song for like the Nintendo Wii Mario
It is. It is really hard.
I can't find this anywhere. So I'm like,
Nintendo is very protective of their IP.
Yeah. So I was like,
very protective of their IP.
What kind of scam is that?
So I got stopped out on that trade, guys. Unfortunately, but it does look like it stopped me out, and it's gonna continue to make the move down. So,
So far,
I
the
am
opening range is holding up there. So far.
Yeah, guys, I have a limit set at 69. No, I didn't do that on purpose. That's just where it formed. But so we'll see if I get picked up or not for this trade. This is a 2-minute bearish fair value gap that I want to see price. Well, we'll see if we get it now. We just started flipping bearish, but here on the 1 minute, you can see the first. Sometimes when price is in a hurry to get somewhere, you really won't get those retracements as much. It'll be just very shallow. The very first PD array might be all that we get, but I'm not going to chase this if it just runs.
Yeah, literally stopped me out probably to the tick, and
don't you love that? Yeah,
I love it. Yeah, it's great.
Nasty NASDAQ.
I made $64 on that trade.
Hey,
green is green.
Big money.
You buy a couple matchas with that. So
Yeah, true. A couple is very accurate.
don't
I was
you
gonna
dare
say she lives in
complain
LA.
about
That might get her one.
I was gonna say Friday
Honestly.
drinks are on you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, we are stalling in this area here, so
It is the 50-minute opening range low, so keep that in mind too.
So we'll see if we get this pullback. I will be targeting 963 and 3/4. Let's call it 964, but targeting this internal low, which also where is this? 63, which also happens to be right as we're trading into this 15-minute inefficiency below New York Open. So this would be, the logic here would be this for me. And potentially I could look to even target, I could move my target up even a little bit, potentially, just to get us back into discount of this overall range. But this is kind of the basic, like, simplistic overall logic of what I'm trying to do is long in areas of discount, short in premium. So I'd naturally become more bullish as price trades below this low.
All right.
We'll see. We'll see.
And let's see how it plays out.
What was the bias today? The chat was mostly bullish, right?
yeah, right.
Okay. Yeah. Oh wow, 70%.
Did I not say this? I said I'm bullish, but watch this turn very quickly.
Yep. No, it's a running joke on my
really
stream
is.
that I like fading the chat, but I don't know. I like to be the villain though, but
Yeah, I
Tyler-
saw you streaming every day too, right?
Yes, sir. I try, unless it's like obviously a bank holiday or something like that. There are days that I will avoid. But yeah, for the most part, most days.
I got one question for you here, Tyler. Well, how do you handle the waiting? Like, this is something where it's very tough because a lot of new traders, especially I've noticed as I've worked with and coached a lot of traders that have gone, and almost everybody's entry to the futures market is a prop firm like Tradeify, right? Almost nobody just decides to put 50,000 of their own money, because most people don't have that, right? To put into a brokerage account and learn how to trade. So, and obviously places like Tradeify, you know, if you blow up an eval, you're out a couple $100 as opposed to being out tens of thousands. But so they feel the need to trade. Like, I'm a trader, the markets are open, therefore I trade. Those of us that have been around a little while understand that's not always the case. So how do you handle the waiting? How do you handle a day where maybe like today, you've got an order out, let's say it doesn't hit, or you're just not seeing the things that you like? How do you handle that? Are you somebody, now obviously I know you stream and as well, so you can't just like walk away, but what is there that allows you to, boy, I got a fly going on in here. But how do you handle the waiting?
Yeah, I mean, I will just kind of entertain myself with, you know, talking smack with the chat or whatever it is, to kind of just keep me entertained. But, you know, I really, again, I try not to let the FOMO overtake me too often. I can't say that it never gets to me, because every once in a while it does, especially if there's like a few days in a row where it seems to just keep happening. And I'm like, dude, what the heck? The whole week's going to come and go, and I'm not going to have taken a trade. But early on in my trading, I feel like one of my biggest issues as well was like, I couldn't sit at a chart for a session and just not press a button. I just had to put a trade on. And I think as you just gain chart time and you gain experience in the markets, again, touch the stove enough time and get burned, eventually you're just like, okay, this hurts. I need to stop doing it. And you learn that there are going to be plenty of days where you're just not going to get what you're looking for to put risk on the table. And because at the end of the day, we don't control these candlesticks, guys. We don't control whether they go up, whether they go down, or like the Wolf of Wall Street, sideways or fucking circles. So, you know, we don't control that aspect of things. All we control is the risk that we put on, and when we choose to put that risk on. That is it. That's the only things that we have control over. So to me, you have to make the best decisions on that aspect of things, and just let the chips fall where they may after that. But the way that I deal with the waiting is just, you know, I know what I'm looking for now in the markets for me to engage. And if I'm just not offered it, I'm just not offered. Just not my day in the market. I accept it and I move on, live to trade another day.
Yeah, very well said. I think that specifically deserves a follow. So we just put your YouTube into the chat here. Guys, make sure that you follow and subscribe to Tyler's YouTube. He streams every single day and also is active on the other socials, which are linked on your YouTube channel, right, Tyler?
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Thank you much. Appreciate it.
I love it.
Oh man. Yeah. How about are you guys looking for anything else right now at this moment?
I'm looking for marble races.
Okay. Fair enough.
Boy, this 22K level, guys, we talked about it earlier in the stream before Tyler came on. This has just been, it's been a pinning level for quite some time, whether on a longer term chart, a shorter term chart, and here we're headed right back to that area. It's also right about the +1 standard deviation band off of VWAP. So if we're going to get a bounce, it could be in this area. If we break down, that would be very bearish action to me. If we were to get maybe one ATR, so about 30 points down below 22K without some sort of retracement. So that'd be the area I would look for the bears. I mean, the bears have had control basically since about 10 minutes after the open, but that's where the bulls have to fight there, or it's going to be an ugly day. Yeah,
and like we said, how quickly things change. We had like 15 minutes left to the end of that hourly candle, and notice how that thing has flipped now completely bearish.
Yeah,
totally.
You literally said a lot of things can change in 18 minutes.
Yep.
And here we are with a new 4-hour candle open.
Yep. Well, shoot, I might have been totally left in the dust on this one.
Yeah, you had a sell order in, right?
I did, yeah. Sell limit.
That was the one at 69. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we'll see. I'm still sticking with it. We'll leave the limit. I mean, I'll leave the limit on until obviously we reach target levels. Then I'll delete it and look to reassess here. But we'll just keep it on. You never know. Sometimes NQ just loves to create some freaky wicks, and it just might might come back from. You never say never. That's what Justin Bieber taught us, right?
Never say never.
Freaky Wicks is
I
one
wouldn't have
of
expected
my favorite
this
80s
Bieber
pop
reference.
punk bands too, just for the
Yeah.
that does sound like an 80s pop punk band.
Hey, we'll take it.
I am actually looking for a potential bounce here.
Oh shit, Marim's going long alert.
Possibly.
I'm trying to get a cleaner move. It's a lot of wickiness here to the downside.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, Nick, on that. I am with you, but yeah, if anybody, congrats to anybody in the chat that did end up shorting up in this area. If you were willing to put risk on up here, you obviously are sitting quite nice at the moment.
Yeah, shout out to Yasir, one of our regulars here. He actually took a killer short. He made $650 on that trade, 100
Nice.
points. Congrats.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I see Nika in the chat. She's a regular that I see often in my chat, and she's one of the people that I guess I was referring to that likes to. She'll be selling those stops, so I know that she probably caught that. Congrats to you, Nika.
I did take a long here at 22,012 was my entry. I did take it on a different account, so you won't be seeing it on here, unfortunately, but I am in long 22,012. My
With
stop
how
is going to
many
be 21,998.
How many contracts did you enter?
21,998. Sorry?
How many contracts did you enter?
So I actually took 2 NASDAQ micros. I'm sorry, minis, two minis.
All right,
2
nice.
minis.
And what
Not
would be
shooting for
your
anything
target?
crazy here, but I do want to see a potential bounce up through 29.
Nice. I got to give you guys your flowers, by the way. It's actually so refreshing to see like real live traders on Tradeify TV, and that you guys are just sitting here adding value and crushing it as often as you are. And you know, trading in front of people is not sometimes the easiest. It opens yourself up to a lot of scrutiny at times. So
Yeah.
it's not the easiest
Very
thing in the
true.
world to do, but I want to give you guys your flowers for that. It's
Thank you.
it's pretty incredible. A lot of value on Tradeify TV, and I'm not saying that just to blow smoke up your butt. I sincerely mean it.
Well, we appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, you already know it's not the easiest thing to do, and but it's, you know, I like what you said earlier about it. It forces you to stay true to who you are as a trader, and not, you know, like it keeps accountability in check. I
Right.
think that's the best way to say it.
Yeah, it's really easy to get trolled when you're FOMOing into trades or just doing
Yeah.
things that everybody knows is naughty. So
That's
Yeah.
for sure.
I'm convinced you could trade green 50 trades in a row and there'd still be trolls.
oh my goodness, it's so crazy. Like you could
100%.
when you lose, it's because you suck. When you win, it's because you got lucky. You know, that's
Yeah.
Classy.
it
But
is
I love
it
what
is.
you said earlier, though, like doing that publicly kind of really took your trading to the next level, because now you're truly accountable. I don't care if you have 2 viewers or 2,000, right?
Yeah.
You're accountable, and if you're streaming live, and I know there's always little exceptions, and there's always going to be people that are trying to game the system. You're trading live, you can't fake that, right?
Yeah.
You know, and no matter what kind of account you're trading, whether an eval or a sim funded or a live funded or your personal live account, like you're putting yourself out there, and that's a big thing.
Yeah, and you know, and I wouldn't say that it's for some people it would be probably harmful. So I wouldn't recommend that like you
Yeah.
open yourself up to like, you know, the general public's opinion on your trading, because some people might be swayed by that, you know, and they'll have all these ideas fluttering in their head from this person or that person that, you know, user 896667771 saying that I can't believe you were bearish there. What a ding dong you were. And then you're questioning everything, right? So, you know, it's you still got to have your, how would you call it? I guess your mental fortitude or your confidence with just your
Yeah.
experience. Your experience in trading is going to be the pinnacle of all the success that you ever have in trading, in my opinion, right? Like, it's cliche to say, but that's why you don't see, it's impossible to sell a course on chart time and experience. You have to put in the time. There's no shortcut for it.
True.
And it's
Very
the
well
only
said.
thing that helps. I mean,
Right.
everybody can sell a strategy on this indicator or that strategy, this and that. It's like, if that's all that it took, we would all be extremely mega rich. If that's all that it took to be profitable.
Mhm.
Yeah, true. Did you hit your TP,
I
Mary?
did. I hit my TP right to the tick there. I'm probably
Wow.
going to get stopped out on the rest because I just set it to break even. But so I am completely out of that trade.
Nice.
I am.
That was a little scalp there. Nothing crazy, but getting some selling coming in real nice.
We are.
Yeah, I'm actually taking a short here, guys. Taking a short here at 22.0420 for that bear flag.
Yeah, that was a nice retest. That was like a perfect take profit on my end. But yeah, I'm completely out of this trade. Let's see.
I was gonna say, I think I have my limit order set in the only gap that ended up not being traded back into. Classic.
The 69 one.
The market don't got its mind in the gutter today, apparently.
Yeah,
Didn't
apparently
like
not. No.
Did not like that.
Seems like it.
We'll see though, but I don't know. I will.
Well,
we'll
then
see.
break even on this. Break even +1.
Nice. Look at you guys. You guys just freaking crushing it today.
Let's
All
see.
right.
It's not over until it's over, right?
That's right.
Plenty of time to give back those profits.
Well, now that you mentioned it.
This has room though. This has a lot of room. I mean, we are testing this upside trend line that we did break out of. So we got room, guys. 966 would be my next target.
Yeah.
Maybe 975 if you guys want
Yeah,
to
mine is 974.25.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that low of the consolidation there that we had at 2:08. That's my time. So at around 8 to 9 a.m.
Nice. I'm laughing too because I think I caught the only green setup.
Yeah, that was fucking that was crazy. That was pretty good.
I was trying to catch the bounce at this 22,000, but bears are coming in hot. I love it. I love to see it. I'm just sad I'm not on the bear side right now.
You
I'm
can't
not
post that
shorting
trade on Twitter. They'll be like, "Oh, really? You went long in this?"
it. Yeah, exactly.
No,
Very
man.
nice push to the downside here. Lots of selling pressure coming in. Yeah, 75 would be a good target if you guys are still in this.
I have it at 74.25.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of sad I got stopped out of my position to the tick. It happens, guys. It happens.
It does happen. Are you guys, would you say, Miriam, are you someone that, are you more prone to go on tilt if you hadn't gone break even? And then like, let's say you took a loss as a result, would that have been like more of like a tilt moment for you? Or would you say it's getting stopped at break even and then it running without you is more of a tilt?
I mean, it's definitely a frustrating thing. I think I've gotten more used to it. Yeah, I would have easily gone on tilt like 2-3 years ago. This would have been a moment for me to just revenge trade this. But you know, being that I've seen this happen too often, I'm not I've gotten a little bit of a handle on that. It's still frustrating. I still get emotional about it. I still get pissed off, but it's really helped me just sit and be like, all right, what's going on here? Because even for now, you know, I did see it take my stop and continue down to the downside, which is why I was like, all right, let me just look for the next decent setup here, which was that 22,000 area, not just a psych level, but a level that I do have. It's close to the trend line. I was happy with my stop. We did get a little bit of a bounce here. I still started to notice that bears were definitely in control, but it really forces you to sit there in the moment, be like, all right, what's the next best thing right now, right? Because I could risk this and you know, get back in, and that could be fine in certain scenarios, right? Always look for the next setup. But if I'm just revenge trading because it took my stop, that's not the answer, right? I want to look for, all right, did I just get a bad entry on this? Let me just see if I can get a better entry. That's a whole different mind shift that I would be looking for here. And even as we're dropping right now, I mean, you think about, right, oh, I could have made this much money if I would have just stayed in it. I mean, my take profit, I would have just had runners in this, so it wouldn't have been a, you know, a crazy gain for me. But, you know, for me, it's like when I look at something like this, I'm like, dang, that sucks. But okay, what's the next plausible entry here? You know, right now I'm looking at ES, I'm looking at NASDAQ, and I'm like, all right, this 21,975 area. I don't know, Nick, if you took your profit there, but
no, actually, I was 28 points in profit, and it almost stopped me out break even now.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it is hard not to go on tilt when you see something like that happen, but you got to look at the bigger picture, right? I know from my habits that this has not been the answer for me, and this is, if
Yeah.
anything, it's worked against me, right? And so yeah, it's not always fun to see that, but you got to be realistic as a trader, especially on a Friday.
Very true.
Yeah. I always, you always see people debate like on trade management, right? Like people that go break even, people that don't, or whatever. In my opinion, is just that whatever prevents you from essentially wanting to go on tilt is what you should do. If that
Yeah.
means protecting your trade early and often, that means protecting your trade early and often. Some people don't like going from green to red. Some people don't like getting stopped at break even, then it runs without them.
I took
so
off
it's always
3
interesting.
here, guys. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good, Nick. Sorry. Congrats.
So I still have 2 runners.
We're coming to the end of this macro here as well, boys and girls. We'll see if we end up getting the flush through these lows officially, or if we're gonna leave these. Let's see. Looks decent though, and yeah, I agree with you, Miriam. I think we have a lot of room that we could sell.
Yeah, I think my line in the sand, and I don't know what you see on your charts, but my line in the sand right now.
I'm out, guys. Sorry, just out of the whole position.
Okay,
there you
nice
go.
job.
Good job, Nick. Line in the sand for me is going to be that 64 area. Nick, I think you'd mentioned this area as well a few times, but 64, 65 level on the NASDAQ. If we break that, oof, yeah, we got some room. We got some room. So, yeah, let's see how we deal with this area. Another thing I look at too to kind of prevent tilt is I wait for a move to finish, meaning like, all right, it's very rare that, we're just going to see a continued flush here throughout the rest of the day, right? We're going to have to see some sort of resistance from the bulls at some point, right? Whether it's this area right here that we're getting, whether it's the 65 zone, we got to look at it from that perspective too. We don't always want to go short right at the bottom. That is not the move. So for me, that's what I was kind of looking for at that 22,000 area as well. Because the bigger play would be the reversal, right? If you can catch something that looks like a reversal, and I'm not saying you're going to catch the bottom, that's not realistic, but if you can look at it from the other perspective, always look at it from the other perspective, right? What are the bulls doing? What are the bears doing? If you think you're going short, well, there's someone just as equally as smart as you who's going long. So you got to look at it from both perspectives and say, all right, yes, the market looks like it's selling off here, but what is the highest probability move right now? And right now we are kind of holding the 75 area. So I would be curious to see if we can get back above 22,000. Then, that's kind of telling me that bulls are starting to get in charge here, which we are pushing right into that area. So if we don't reject here, and we're getting some strong buying pressure coming in here as well. If we don't reject here, then I could see us starting to make this reversal. So again, always look at the other perspective. Don't always look at it as, oh my God, the market's bleeding, we're going to continue bleeding the rest of the day. No, we could make a nice V-shaped recovery here and push back towards the highs. Anything can happen. I've always seen that in the markets. Tyler, I don't know if you agree with some of that.
Oh, 100%. Yep. No, I think you nailed it. I don't even think I need to elaborate on anything you just said. That was perfect.
Yeah. So
no, I agree.
This was an interesting trade here, guys. I don't know if you were paying attention to the chart while I was in the trade, but I moved my stop to break even when I was 15 points in profit. Then I almost got stopped out. It went down to 28 points in profit. I'm gonna have my target set at 30 points. It came back. Didn't stop me out because of 1 point, and then hit my target, and now it would have stopped me out. This was a roller coaster.
Yeah, Freaky Friday, welcome.
Freaky Friday, yeah.
Yeah, I've always. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to check really quick how many likes we have on the stream for us to do the marble race. We need 23 more likes, guys. At 600 likes to do the marble race to give away a free account. So go for it.
Don't be stingy with that like button.
Nope.
Smash that thing.
While we're waiting for those likes there, Tyler, I know you've you've been in and around the props for a little while. What kind of has made Tradeify stand out to you as far as wanting to work with them and do some business with us here?
Yeah. So I mean, and I told Brett this recently as well. I am a little bit newer to Tradeify as of May, but that was only because I was contractually obligated to be exclusive with one firm at that time. But I told Brett, I'm like, this is my favorite firm in the space. And here's what I think: when you're looking at a prop firm, the questions are the offers favorable? So Tradeify checks that box, and traders want to know that they're going to get paid out, right? That's pretty much one of the biggest things. So Tradeify having the reputation for being like the fastest to give you your payouts, kind of like the commercial. It's my money and I need it now. That's like Tradeify is one of the fastest payouts. They're reliable. Brett is in the public eye. I think that is important, that he's not some like shadowy figure or whatever, just like hiding behind the curtain of the prop firm. And it's when you think about a firm that is like traders, built by traders for traders, I mean, just look at you guys on stream here, Tradeify TV. Like, you guys are traders, trading live, executing live, adding real value from your real experiences in the markets. To me, those are the things that check the boxes for me with Tradeify. They're credible, they're reliable, you can trust them. You don't need to worry about not getting, paid out your money when you do earn a profit. It's already hard enough to make money as a trader. The last thing that you want to be up against is like, oh great, now they're not going to pay me out for this reason, this, that, or the third. That's ridiculous. So
I'll be honest, there's been, and we're not calling anybody out or anything like that, but there's been a lot of stuff I've seen where, to me, I like somebody changes the rules of something that like, if you want to say, okay, going forward, all new accounts have these rules and you grandfather people in, okay, well then people go in eyes open. But when you're changing rules on people that have bought accounts with certain expectations, and I mean like payout rules, I mean, there's always little things or little technical things that need to get fixed and make things more reliable, but like changing payout like that, like to me, I don't know how big firms do that and stay in. Like, I don't know why anybody would give somebody their money when they're literally rug pulling them and changing the rules in the middle of the game. That's, you sit down to play any kind of game, a video game or a game of chess, and somebody says, oh, by the way, the queen can now do this, right? Like that seems really shady to me. So I just, from a personal standpoint, even before I came to work here at Tradeify, I'm looking at some of these firms that change the rules. I'm like, how do you do business with them?
Yeah, definitely. It's eyebrow raising, right? It's just like, it's just one of those things that if you don't, and again, everybody can do what they want. So don't come at me in the chat, but at the end of the day, it's, I think you got to go where you can trust. And for newer traders, like for me, when I got started in trading, props were not as big of a thing as they are now. So like for me, it was, fun live accounts, but you're putting 500, 1,000, a couple thousand into an account, sometimes more. So, prop firms would have saved my, a lot in the past had I, had props as available as they are today. So I think we're very fortunate as traders, especially if you're newer to the trading game. But navigating the prop space and picking the right one that's going to, support you is just as important.
Bodie, I see your comment in there. I'll just say this: when something's always 90% off, it's never 90% off. You get what I'm saying? So just food for thought.
True. And speaking of not changing rules, where we don't change the rules for sure, besides obviously all our accounts and the trading terms, obviously the marble races. And we do have the 600 likes now, and we're going to follow the exact same rules as usual, guys. We're going to do a marble race right now for a 150K growth account. Okay, so the winner gets a 150K growth account. That's the big boy account. With that being said, you have to make sure you like the stream. You have to make sure you are subscribed to the channel, and you have to type the keywords that Miriam is going to drop here in a second. Only type it once. Don't type it twice. Don't type it 3 times. It's just going to get you disqualified. So Miriam, what's the keyword for the guys?
All right, guys. Keyword is Tyler Trades. Tyler Trades. One word.
Yep.
Let's get it.
Almost thought it was going to be Go Pack Go.
Nope.
If I had chosen it, it would be.
There you go.
There goes the chat. See you guys.
Awesome. Good luck, everybody. But yeah, so we're seeing that the end of this macro, that's kind of a big part of my strategy as well, is the whole timing element. I do subscribe to the ideology that time is more important than price. So I'm not sitting here just like trading every fair value gap or every market structure shift or whatever other ICT concept that you might use, but it's just something that I've noticed that happens repeatedly, that in these windows of time, like these ends of hours, tops of hours, you see this move run, and then you'll almost see like this accumulation phase kind of in the middle, right? So obviously not 100%, but what I've noticed at least is now we're getting this pullback. The macro has ended. So to me, I would not be surprised. I still am overall bearish. You guys see I haven't deleted my sell limit yet. So this would be fantastic if we were to get up to there. The question is, am I interested enough to maybe long into a short? We are diverging a little bit at these lows. So very possibly could be, but just going to wait here and see what we get.
Yeah, this 22,000 is still some resistance here. But I think if we get back above this area, we could make a nice little reversal here.
Yeah, we're still sitting at that consolidation zone that we had here from 745 to 830, and we're making pretty much another consolidation or forming another consolidation zone right at the same level. So as long as we don't break out of this to the top or to the bottom, like, I don't do anything except marble racing.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you wait.
Right.
Right.
Do you actually? That's a good question here. Let me actually forget about that, because I just see that Drew just pulled up the marble race. Guys, you can stop typing Tyler trades into the chat unless you want to show more appreciation for Tyler being here today. But let's actually do the racing.
Let's go, guys. So everybody on your starting blocks right now, and we are going to let them now go. 3, 2, 1.
Now we're talking.
Oh, I don't even count it down if we got that going in the background. That's good.
Good luck, guys. Good luck.
Good luck, everybody.
Is that start? Dude, this is getting better and better. I love it.
Yeah, we're already feeling something.
I was gonna say they don't have those in the Midwest.
I know we don't.
Sneak up.
Great. I love it.
No, there are no. I can confirm there's no sharks in Lake Michigan.
I love it. I love the chaos. iGamer4TV in the lead right now. Let's see if he or she can survive. Oh, there's another blender. Yeah, there's another blender that's gonna throw some people out. Rainy in the lead right now. Let's see. What is that? Some futuristic stuff there. Not sure if a shark built that. So remember, guys, that first place gets 150k growth account for free. Oh,
Breaking through
got a
some
winner.
lows as we say this, guys.
First low broken, and we got a winner. Congratulations, Arshad Riman. Make sure to type something in the chat so we see you're there. You just won a 150k growth account, and also the 150k growth account. And obviously, also make sure that you add your email address into your YouTube channel description so we can reach out to you and send you the code for it. Congrats.
Congratulations,
Nice.
guys.
Congrats.
Wow, we are really dumping here.
Oh my goodness, are we ever? My sell limit is coming off at this point, boys and girls. This is what you would call left in the dust. So that's coming off for me. But shucks, if you guys caught shorts from anywhere up in here, congratulations.
Oh, yeah.
What a move.
What a
We have a
move.
VWAP test
What a
on
move.
deck here.
Wow.
Trading into this hourly. We'll see if we flip this. I mean, holy cow, guys. We could see potentially Asia low, and really this gap that was left from the market open last night, potentially. That'd be
We're
wild.
kind of flirting with VWAP here. Oh boy.
What a drop.
Wow. Just right past it.
Miriam, I'm actually so happy for you that you hit TP on that long.
I appreciate that. I'm not
That's
feeling
actually-
that too much right now, but it's okay.
If it wasn't live on stream, no one would have believed that.
That's gonna.
right. That's facts.
That's crazy.
That is impressive stuff.
Just a quick little
Little pop.
almost
Little poppy
100
pop.
point drop. That's crazy.
Holy moly.
My short entry was at 22,004.
Wow. Congratulations to anyone who caught this beautiful
crazy.
move to the
Yeah.
downside. Yeah, I'm
Goodness
a little
gracious.
jelly. I'm a little jelly, not gonna lie, but good job, guys. Good job for catching this.
You know what, Matt? There's a guy in the chat. The account name is Ding Ding Motherfucker.
I saw that. I saw that. That's
What a legend.
It's nice. We need merch.
Also,
We need Ding Ding Motherfucker merch. Where's Brett on that?
definitely,
Where's Brett?
definitely.
Yeah.
And guys, we're gonna have more marble racing today, so definitely expect some more. And we also are gonna fix the super loud sound effect, so don't worry about that. It's gonna get fixed.
I was gonna say we get the ding ding motherfucker sound effect loaded up next. There you go.
We're working
gonna
on
get
that.
that too.
Get the voiceover going.
The thing is, we have the Ding Ding Motherfucker sound effect. His name is Matt.
Oh yeah, it's just live. He just does it live.
Yeah.
Fuck it, we do it live.
Yeah. Yeah. That'll me.
That's great.
Oh
Man,
shoot!
what a
yeah,
beautiful sell-off. Beautiful sell-off.
Yeah, we are trying to hold VWAP on ES, and the NASDAQ is trying to hold this buyer level here. Am I tempted to long this? Kind of, but also not going to, just considering how strong bears are. We could totally just flush through this. VWAP again, still holding here on ES, but let's see how we handle this right now.
Okay. So, Tyler, we really appreciate you being with us today. Any kind of closing thoughts or anything? Obviously, we've got your YouTube up pinned to our chat. Make sure you go subscribe to Tyler and check out him on all the other socials that he's got listed on that page. But what kind of parting words of wisdom do you have for us, Tyler, and our viewers?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me, guys. I do apologize that I got left in the dust. That what a move that was. So if you guys caught that, congratulations.
Better to wish you were in a trade than out of a trade.
That's right. So, I would just say this, guys, if regardless of where you're at in your trading journey at the moment, whether maybe you're in a lull right now, maybe you're just kicking ass and taking names, whatever it is, never get too high in the highs, never get too low in the lows. Stay steady. Nothing is forever. And, just know that you're here for a reason. So if you stay the course, and you focus on the things that you are in control of, it will happen for you. Don't compare yourself to other traders. Don't compare yourself to other people's results. Their results are their results, and your results are yours. You're going to get there when you're supposed to get there. Oof. And I'm a big believer in that. And if obviously if you keep showing up to Tradeify TV and plugging into these guys, look, these guys caught the trades today. I just sat here and got left in the dust. So I mean, you guys are in great hands, and the value that you guys bring to the trading community is second to none. So I really appreciate you guys. Appreciate Brett for getting me on here, and we'll see if we can, earn a second date at some point in the future. We'll see if I've earned that right or not. But
we'll definitely have you for trading after dark. That's for sure.
There we go.
We'd have as many Packer fans on here as possible. So,
hell yeah.
We
Perfect.
definitely
I
have
appreciate
to come back and trade on here. So
awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys having me.
All right, everyone,
Thank you
let's
for
get some golf claps in the chat. Thank Tyler for being with us. Again, check him out at his YouTube page. I am Tyler Trades. So thanks again, Tyler, for being with us. We hope to see you back very soon.
See you guys.
Yep.
Bye, Tyler.
Also, everybody in the chat right now, this move is exactly why it's so important to tune in to Tradeify TV early. I mean, multiple reasons for that, obviously. But when we did our analysis, if we go to my chart here really quick, Miriam, I don't know if you remember, but you asked me, what am I looking for in terms of getting a short today, right? And what I said was, I want to see a break of this trend line, which we already had at that time. I said, we want to take out this low right here, right? And then move to the downside. And if you go back right now in the stream, you can literally see me explain it exactly that way. And I'm not going to say every single time some of us are saying something like Matt, Miriam, or I, it is true, but this is going to give you ideas for the day of how could this play out. And that is why we do it, right? To help you guys actually improve your trading and get better setups. So I hope it helped somebody. I know that Yasir took a banger trade. So congrats, Yasir.
I love it. Yeah, no, and it's something that, we come on here and we tell you guys what we're looking at. We come on here and we're honest with you about what we see that the chart is showing us at that time, right? And in the pre-market, I mean, we're all on the same page. We're all on the same page of being bullish. But I always say, guys, just, watch out, right? Have your head on a swivel. Anything can and will happen in the markets. And as you guys can see, that sentiment changed very quickly. If you go to my charts here, I actually did take that long here at this 95.8 895 level. I actually bottom ticked that
baller.
895 on my other account. So I did just get out of that trade at 21,930. So a nice little 30 plus point move here to the upside. But I told you guys, this is the demand zone that I'm looking at, right? This is the supply zone. This is the demand zone. We beautifully respected these areas. You know, you can hate on trend lines all you want, but they work when they work, right? And you know, you can see here we had so many different types of plays. This is what's kind of beautiful about today. We had so many different types of plays. You could have shorted, you know, the supply zone right here. You could have shorted the break of the supply zone. You could have waited for the trend line and shorted the trend line. You could have waited for the orb opening range breakout and shorted the breakout. You could have waited for this trend line here. You see that we were like really respecting this 20,000 area. You could have shorted that. You could have looked at this bounce here that we had at the demand zone. You could have taken that for a long. So it really is one of those like days where any type of trader can make money here. You know, you could I took more longs than shorts, and I was up on the day. So and you can see all we did was make the downside move, but all my trades were to the long side. So for me, you know, it's just one of those really nicely played out days. You know, congratulations to everyone who caught this. This was a beautiful short. Unfortunately, I got stopped out on my short, but you know, this would have been a beautiful play to the downside. And so, you know, you just got to look at different areas of confluence. I really was looking at ES on this VWAP bounce, made a really nice bounce. Obviously, NASDAQ holding this demand zone, which is why I went long. I could have easily probably stayed in this trade, but nice little quick scalp I got here to the upside. But very, very beautiful day, in my opinion, for catching shorts and longs, mostly the shorts, but you got to be quick with the longs.
It's always
I was in and out.
It's always mostly the shorts, Miriam. You know that.
Oh, I know. I gotta be I gotta be true to who I am. I know that.
Yet you took longs today, but you smashed it. I mean, if you take profit on longs, that's fine too. Green is green.
Absolutely. It was a nice little green day here. How did everyone do? How was everyone doing on their trades today? Did you catch this nice short? How quickly did your sentiment change? I know, you know, when we took that poll today, everyone was bullish, including us. So how did everyone do today? I want to see. Were we green on the day? Big green, says Zed. Congratulations. Yes, Sierra, I know that you had a very beautiful trade as well. So congratulations. Blessed profits with the green. Nika caught the short. Very nice. Very nice. We got a poll there as well.
I love background Nick with the polls. That's a good one. I know what I'm picking.
I love it. Very clean.
Well, guys, we're still with you for a little longer, and we've got another giveaway coming in a little bit, more marble races. Very excited for that. Also, guys, just a little bit of tease. You're not going to get anything more than this, but just really stay tuned to Tradeify and Tradeify TV over the next week. Some really fun things coming your way. So Tradeify continues to innovate and continues to be a leader in this space. So we're really looking forward to it. I think Gandalf teased some things on Discord the other day. So I'm just going to continue to tease and just say, pay attention to Tradeify socials, pay attention to the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, get to tradeify.co and jump in to the Discord and check the announcements tab. And obviously we'll be talking a lot on this show as well next week. You guys have responded and told us what you like, what you want more of, and so we're gonna be responding to you, our outstanding viewers. So really looking forward to that. Just a little tease. You don't get any more than that right now.
That's right. Save all of that for Tradeify After Dark. I think that would actually be a lot of fun. Brett, if you're listening,
we need a segment. We need a segment.
The only question is, what time at dark do we start it?
Yeah, I mean it's get dark. You know, we're just I think tomorrow is the solstice, right? Or the equinox, or one of the two. I don't know.
You're right.
Solstice, I believe. So it's the longest day of the year. So yeah, that after dark, you're gonna have to stay up late for. That's way past my bedtime, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I'll be okay. I'll be okay.
Yeah. Well, you start art in the dark, Miriam.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll do like a West Coast After Dark, which will be like pretty much in the middle of the night for Matt.
Yeah.
I mean,
or we could do Nick Swiss After Dark. He'd just wait a couple of more hours.
Yeah, easy. All right, guys. What are levels you looking at right now for potential entries? Are you still looking at something?
I'm done for the day. I made my 4 figures here, and I'm happy for the day. But for me, I would just be cautious of this demand zone. I think NASDAQ and ES are both in a good confluence there. VWAP is sitting nicely at that 60-28, 60-30 area on ES. That same level is going to be that 21,888 area on the NASDAQ. I do feel like we might try to make a relief bounce here. But again, I don't really look for any sort of, if you caught this at the very bottom, congratulations, you can probably still stay in this, but I would really wait to see if we can hit that 22,000 area and get back up above that. If I draw the fibs here, let's see. If we take the top of this move to the bottom of this play, that 50% retracement, what do you say? Here it's sitting at that 22,000 level. So we could come back and retrace to that 22K and then potentially see a reversal. Otherwise, that's going to be that key area, 22,000 on the NASDAQ. So if you are long right now, which congratulations if you did get along, because this is a nice move right now, but I would be careful. I would be very mindful. We are sitting kind of at this previous day close, and it's going to be a little bit interesting here. I would watch for this area, this 950 area. We don't have too many sellers sitting there, so this could be a nice little grind back up. Next level of resistance I would see is this 966, and then again 22,000. But guys, if you already made your money for today, just walk away, right? It's always great. It's always such a privilege to be able to make a win on a Friday, right? On a Friday, on a quad witching day, on a week of contract rollovers and craziness. And is she curly? Is she not? Like, there's a lot going on, guys. So you just want to be careful of not trying to overtrade, right? Don't let the confidence get to you too much. And, just make sure that you enjoy your weekend, right? This is what we do as traders. This is the whole reason we are trying to create this freedom for ourselves. So for me, I wouldn't be looking to trade anymore. But again, that 22,000 area is going to be key.
Yeah, Miriam, very well said. Mike's is asking, can you show how you got that green zone on your charts?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is actually, let me just make sure here that I have, so it's a 1 hour demand zone. So if I go to the 1 hour chart here, you can see right here that this is an area of consolidation here. So like if you look at, and actually this zone was actually supposed to be closer to here, right? So what I was looking at here on this zone here is when you're looking at areas of big spikes, consolidation, and another big spike, you want to create you want to look at that as a possibility that there are still some orders here, right? Buyers and sellers are fighting. They're fighting to agree on what price is appropriate, right? So when we're looking at this time frame, this was an area of consolidation that we really couldn't agree which was the right price. But then eventually bulls took over, and you can see we got a massive move to the upside. So I look for these sort of setups. So that's where I got that specific zone. And again, the higher the time frame of the zone, the stronger it's going to be. So this is a 1 hour zone. If you look at here on the 2 hours, so this area right here is actually where I got this zone as well. So you can see that same area that we rejected, not only was it Tuesday's high, but you can see here we also had this area of consolidation and before we got a massive move to the downside. So you can see there's probably still orders here, right? If you look at the 2 hour right here, you can see buyers are sitting here, they're kind of deciding, should we continue going to the upside here? But then sellers really stepped in. So this area, this whole zone for me is going to be a very important zone, which is why I marked it. And as you can see, we came into it today, couldn't quite clear it. We made a lower high, and then we got a nice rejection right down to this demand zone. So that's kind of how I get my zones and my levels for the day. I start with a top-down analysis. So I like to start at the 4 hour, work my way down all the way to the 15-minute. And then once I'm at the 15-minute, if I don't see anything, my 5-minute and my 2-minute are the areas that I look to trade on. So that's where I got this area right here. I hope that was helpful. But in Confluence, I was also looking at VWAP on ES. So that's kind of why I decided to take that trade.
Nice. Very well explained.
Excellent.
Matt, anything you're eyeing right now?
Yeah, the bounce off. I was really looking for a bounce off VWAP, but I wanted to hover around that area for a little bit, and we tapped and go and tap and go. Classic tap the keg and let it pour out. Right now, of course, we're heading back down there, but the ranges are just so 36. Is our 5-minute ATR and the NQ, and our standard deviation width. It's a little below 120 now, but it was at 116. That is boy, that's high. So it creates these large ranges, which means position sizes would have to be a little lighter tonight. But yeah, I'll be honest that the huge sell off kind of threw me off.
What a drop.
So now we're heading towards session lows. So let's see what happens. I'm looking for. I keep seeing on my news feed all the tech stocks hitting lows. Palantir, Micron, Tesla, Google. U.S. prepares action targeting allies' chip plants in China. So that could be the headline that's popping us down a little bit. I don't have any more to elaborate on that, so I don't know exactly who's being targeted. But if any of the Magnificent Seven in this country are targeted, it's obviously going to have a huge effect on the NQ.
Yeah, it's an interesting zone that we're in right now. We came right back to that area that I was telling you guys about, right? When we go to let's go to the 5-minute here. Look at this. Look at where we popped right into that 60 area that I was mentioning. And I think, Nick, you have the same area. We both talked about this 65, 60 zone. So came back up, retested, massive move to the downside. Now we're testing this this trend line here on NASDAQ. I think we break. I think we actually break this trend line. Right now it's kind of it's a little too early to say, but I have a feeling that bears are going to be in charge today, especially if ES is breaking this VWAP level. ES still has some room to this trend line here, but I think we might try to test it. It's not really seeming like bears are trying to take advantage here, and honestly, if I hadn't already taken a trade, I would really consider this for a short. I would very much consider this.
I mean, you can take it with 1 micro.
I could.
I'm putting you on the spot here.
Yeah, this is a very juicy looking short to me. If we can open this, I think if we open this next candle, honestly, if we open it below 865, that's a nice short in my opinion. But nice rejection at the 65 zone. ES, even cleaner actually on ES. This trend line is just, wow.
Yeah.
Ooh, getting a little chills just looking at it. But nice retrace to this trend line, and then a little rejection here. Let's see how we do at VWAP. I want to see how this candle closes. But
21,960 was an ideal level of rejection, because it was actually the 6 p.m. open, yesterday's 6 p.m. open. So usually serves as a nice level of rejection for retracement.
Yeah, I think if we hold this though, we get a strong candle. I would not look to short it, but especially if ES closes above VWAP on at least the 2-minute. But yeah, just an interesting price action we're getting today. Very different. As you can see, guys, this is like it's so funny when I always laugh now when I say I'm a bull in the morning, because I'm like, watch this completely turn around. I swear, replay this episode, and that's exactly what I said. I'm like, watch this completely turn around and unravel itself.
I love that these things, these episodes are all recorded, and we can always go back and be like, told you.
Yeah, so.
But
Yeah, I agree with you, Cheetah. I actually do think this, this could be a game changer play right here. I think if we hold this level, then we can hold, but it's not really looking very enticing from the Bulls side. Bulls, every time they try to make a bounce here, you can see we're not really convinced on these moves. Once we start making these stair stepper moves to the upside, massive reversals come in and kind of take out those prior plays. But yeah, bulls are floundering. That's what I would say, is bulls are floundering. So no longs in my thesis right now if I were to look for anything up until we can really get back up above at least 900, and at this point it's not really seeming like that's the case. I would short any sort of pullback in this case.
So I would actually like to get, if we could, a poll, since we're kind of we're doing pretty good. I would like a weekly poll if we could do that in background, Nick. And how did it? Were you green, red, or didn't trade this week? Obviously, it was a bit of an unusual week with the Thursday holiday, with FOMC on Wednesday, and now quad witching on Friday. So I'd really be curious to see how everybody did for the week.
Actually, we are in a demand zone here on SPX as well. Interesting area.
SPX getting some divergence from the 6K level too. So,
right, exactly. So, I think if we can clear on SPX, if we can clear 59.65, we have some major room to the downside. Otherwise, yeah. See, I'm telling you guys, I feel like any sort of pullback here is shortable.
I just realized when I saw this poll of how we did this week, this was the first week in a very long time where I had a green Monday. Huh.
Wow.
Green day every day this week.
Let's go.
How about you guys?
Congratulations. Yeah, that's Mondays are rough.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like I never had that for the last 2 years. And then just for the last 1.5, 2 months, I had every Monday was red. But this one was green. So full green week. How about you guys, Mary and Matt? The green on the week?
Green on the week for me.
Absolutely. So I see G Siva in the chat here. Y'all were bullish before the open, so whenever all three on the same page, it doesn't follow that. Yeah, that's I don't know if you're just making a funny comment or trolling or a little of both, and that's fine. But also, yeah, that is funny, and it is funny to go back and look at that, and we were, because we were running into the open. But guys, this is why. One of the reasons people really can struggle in trading, right? Like, and I actually saw a sportscast. I can't remember which one it was. One of the yelling idiots in the afternoon sportscaster. There was a clip that, and it's not stuff I usually watch, but at the same time, it was actually kind of a prescient and self-aware comment for one of these individuals who just said, "Listen, I know you guys are telling me I was big on this particular player or team or whatever, and now I'm not. Well, guess what? New information means we change our opinion or thesis or bias, right? And so, listen, we could do a stream every day and predict this and predict that, and we'd probably look just as dumb as some of the guys on CNBC or Fox Business or Bloomberg or any of those other so-called shows. And yeah, we could have, well, we still have a better track record than Kramer, but that's another conversation. But yeah, guys, when we see new information, we change our bias, and unfortunately, we're in kind of a situation in the world right now where that's not always the case. People want to stick to their guns as far as any kind of opinion, even in the face of overwhelming evidence to the contrary, right? I mean, I'm sorry if I get nasty emails or a nasty comment. There's people that think the Earth is flat. I mean, for God's sakes, like, really? So I'm waiting. I'm watching the chat now. I'm waiting for something. But, so and that's what the world overwhelmingly thought for a while. Guess what? We acquired new evidence, so we change our position, change our bias. So, yeah, honestly, guys, most days, and especially like a day like today, we may change our bias a couple of times. And that doesn't always mean we only take trades in the favor of our bias, but little things that we can do. Again, I've talked on the show many times. Most of us probably have 20 to 30 pretty decent trade ideas if we're sitting for an entire session, right? So to screen that down to 2 or 3 really A to A plus setups takes a bias. It takes other pieces of information. It takes a basic understanding, like I said, of statistics, probability, basic understanding of candlesticks if you're a candlestick trader, or if you're market profile, TPO, all that kind of stuff as well. So yeah, that's yeah, I remember that. That was a statement they made, NASDAQ, or the Flat Earth Society has members all over the globe. They made that statement unironically. So yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, I knew we'd have some funny comments and not some yeah. But yeah, it's yeah. Have you ever seen the Earth from space? You know what, Bodhi? I actually have. Yeah, me and Elon are buddies. I actually go up on every rocket. Thankfully, I wasn't the one that blew up on the pad the other day. But
I mean, Elon was even in the chat the other day. So
yeah, he was with Trump and J Powell. We were breaking news here on the Tradeify TV stream. We had Trump and J Powell going back and forth at each other. So that was pretty funny. But yeah, guys, again, when you're in any kind of day trading scenario, you better be ready to change your bias and change your opinion like that, because you're going to need to. If you stick, guess what? How stupid would we look right now if we're sitting here telling you like, oh my goodness, yeah, we're clearly going back to session highs, and that may happen, guys, right? But as we sit here right now, am I bullish right now? I am not. So you've got to be able to adjust your bias and adjust your opinion, or the markets are just going to chew you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know who did not got can't speak anymore.
Okay.
Talking is hard.
I had such a smooth transition. I was like, you know who did not got
Let's rewind. Let's restart this again. We got you.
given up by the market? Our top 5 traders from yesterday. The top 5 live traders from yesterday. Yesterday, actually, 2 people crushed it with over 5-figure trades here. John L had an $11,820 trade. Then we had, or like probably not one trade, but the P&L for the day. Then we had Mohit C with another 11,000 for the day. Then we had Anjal Che with 2,322, still 4 figures, big numbers for the day. Kerry S with 2,210, and then Kietil S with 1,494. So our top 5 traders yesterday were crushing it. And now let's look at the top 10. And guys, by the way, before I even go through the top 10, we're going to do another marbles race here after the top 10. So make sure to like the stream right now. I have to refresh the like count really quick because I don't even know what we're sitting at. We're currently sitting at 698. Let's get this to 750 really quick, guys. Smash that like.
I want to jump in on the news feed here. It just came across that the Russian Foreign Ministry has demanded Israel immediately cease all attacks on Iran. So, I mean, that is what it is. But that was the worry with this, right? Like Israel and Iran and other places have been sniping back and forth at each other for decades and doing little attacks here or there. The worry was a proxy war, right? Like not unlike what we've seen in Ukraine, right? And if the U.S. jumps in on Israel's side, now Russia apparently has a security pact with Iran. They jump in. Now shit gets really serious, and especially if U.S. and or Russian assets end up deployed, right? So that was the worry, and I think this is part of the downturn here is people worry. And again, I don't think you're going to want to see a lot of people long into the weekend, right? You know, you couldn't trade a lot yesterday other with limited hours. We've got a full day today, but then we have 2 days off, and you've seen this in this, you know, between the tariffs, between whether it's escalation in Ukraine or now this escalation in other areas of the Middle East. There's a lot of risk holding long between now and Sunday night when the futures reopen. So this sell-off very well could continue. I mean, we started the pre-market going red to green. Now we're green to red, and honestly, it would not shock me if we end up down another couple hundred points from here on the NQ. You'll see maybe a little buying into lunch in the afternoon, maybe. But boy, if you're a risk manager at a big firm, are you going to want major long exposure going into this weekend? I just don't think so.
Right.
Yeah. After those news, let's get back to the good news. But before we
we'll talk about World War III on Monday.
Yeah, that's fine.
Before we go through, well, you can't do anything about it anyway. So what good does it do to talk about it? No, I'm kidding. Obviously, we need to cover it as well. But before I go through the top 10 live traders here, guys, I know, let me refresh the likes here really quick. I don't think we're sitting at 750 quite yet. However, I'm feeling, I'm feeling we should do the marbles race anyways, because you guys are very loyal to the stream. You guys are watching this all the time. So let's do the giveaway anyways. We're going to have the same rules as usual, okay? So like the stream. You can only participate if you like the stream, if you are subscribed to the channel, and if you type the keyword, you ready for it? Live trader in one word. Live trader is the keyword for the next marble race. And speaking of live trader, let's actually go through the top 10 live traders currently of all time at Tradeify. Still sitting in number 1 spot, we have PW Patrick Wieland, currently sitting at 185K. He's gaining a bit of distance from number 2 here. Moretta S sitting at 168K. Then Muhammad D, 151K. Then Richard C with 141K. Then Sergey P with 136K. And then Tsinghua H with 133K, Victor O with 127K, Kevin W with 120K, and Justin D with 118K. Now, all our live traders are sitting at a total money bag of over $100,000. That is crazy. And you guess what? We want to keep these traders live, right? This is not a firm where we're trying to, just push somebody into live and then make them lose their account and shit like that. No, actually, we even have a coach, Coach Tank. Obviously, you all know him, right? Coach Tank actually coaches our live traders for free and makes sure they stay live and they make even more money, okay? So if you're a trader at Tradeify right now, if you perform well and you go to live, you get the chance to work with Coach Tank for free, and it's actually super, super valuable, as you've experienced when was that? Wednesday stream with Coach Tank on. So make sure that you trade well, stick to your rules, and you get to live and work with Coach Tank. But as soon as we're ready here and have the first 300, Drew is going to pull up the marbles race. Oh, this one, actually, I didn't even mention what it is for. Sorry, guys. This one is for another 150K growth account.
Nice. Very nice. Interesting reaction we're getting here at the 800 level on NASDAQ. Again, I feel like if there's any sentiment to go long, you got to be quick. You got to get the right at the entry. 800 would be an area I would long, but I would not stay in it for very long. Like that's right now we're really testing that area, psychological area, and we're up 26 points, but every pullback feels like it's getting shorted. Like I would expect a drop around this 830 area. So that's what I mean. I feel like it's one of those days where bulls are coming in hot, and there really doesn't seem to be any sort of relief from the bull side. So yeah, just quite the market we're in.
Yep.
Yeah, 800 right to 800 on that drop, 799.50.
Let's see how far we can go. I mean, weekly open is sitting at 21,783.84. So we're sitting right at that zone now.
To answer your question, Boundless, I've said this a couple times on the stream before. My news feed is from the Trade Exchange. Just trade the letter X and change, or just search the Trade Exchange news. Again, disclaimer, I have no business relationship or affiliate relationship with them outside of being a paying customer. But to me, you can curate Twitter feeds, you can do whatever you need, but having some sort of news that, if there's a big drop, we may not know the reason for a couple of minutes, but you don't want to be wondering 30 minutes from now, right? So I do encourage you to check out whether it's that or, Financial Juice has some stuff as well. Just find a situation where you are getting some sort of timely news. So yeah, no worries. I'll answer again. But yeah, I think I have the $60 a month plan with them, so it's pretty reasonable. But I just want to know when there's a big move, is there a potential, is there a reason? There's always a reason for a big move down, right? More sellers than buyers. But if there's some sort of macro news going on, and honest to God, guy, I don't care, you like the guy, you hate the guy, in the Trump presidency, you got to have some kind of news feed, because if he makes a statement or there's something else going on, you got to know pretty quickly.
Yeah. And Kishore asking, wait, Miriam is up 1.2K? Yes, she is. Welcome to Tradeify TV.
I took 3 trades today.
Nice.
A little more than I usually take, but I couldn't resist. Ironically, they're all to the long side. One of them was short, but got stuffed out of that real quick. But my short entry, I look at this now, I'm like, that would have been real nice to stay in. I would have been out of that trade easily, but yeah, that 65 area was where I shorted it.
All right. And I just refreshed the likes and saw that we were sitting at 750 likes. So we're gonna have the marble race shortly here. We're gotta build a bit of tension, before we start these races. We should wait a bit. Everybody should check, do they see their names? Do they see themselves on the screen? Because I've seen people saying like, hey, I don't see my marble. I don't know what's going on. And guys, check the screen right now. Can you see yourself? Because if you typed live trader, we know that if you typed it, you're actually there. Now somebody's saying they can't hear me. But anyways, let's go.
All right, guys. So we are ready for our marble race here. We are giving away, what was it, a 150K growth account, I believe. So, guys, we've got our countdown up and running. Let's, whenever you're ready there, Drew. What in the hell are we doing right now? It's a giant anus.
Thanks for that. But you're right.
I was gonna say, now I'm definitely right. We're in some like demon's colon or something.
Oh, what the fuck?
Needs more fiber.
Yeah. Yikes.
Well, that one is getting these marbles dizzy.
I know. Are people flying off?
Somebody's saying, Dondrel TV is saying, every time we start a marble race, the market drops. Yeah, it seems like it. It does seem like it.
Best
We are actually
indicator we
heavily
have.
dropping right now.
I just noticed that. That's funny.
Sitting at weekly open now. All right. Damn. I wonder how many different ones Drew can pull up here. 'Cause
Right.
At some point it has to stop. Hanifa N in the lead right now. David in the lead. Damien in the lead. JP in the lead. Joker 13 in the lead.
Let's go.
But just for a brief second, that was. Guys, little reminder, the first place is going to get a 150K growth account. Wait, they're all stalling there. What's happening? Oh, there they go. There they go. We should start doing bets of who wins the race. We're gonna do a marbles racing betting bureau. All right, we got a winner. The winner is Rainy. Rainy, congratulations! You just won a 150K growth account. Make sure to type something really quick and add your email into your YouTube channel description so we can reach out to you and send you your code for the free account. Rainy.
Rainy. Congratulations.
Rainy with a double N. Yeah, said A, I know. I saw it. Rainy, are you there?
We got to hear from you.
You have to type. No, you're not Rainy. MT21. Don't lie.
Man, we've only had one
Don't
person
lie.
fail to claim.
Yeah, if you don't claim, oh man, it's gonna go to second place if you don't claim. Rainy, type
Tanner,
something.
you didn't send him enough money, Tanner. You needed to send him double whatever you sent him, brother.
Oh man.
Hopefully he's
Rainy?
alive. I hope he's not lagging 10 minutes on the stream.
I'll give that remaining 1 minute candle to Rainy. It's 41 seconds left on that 1 minute candle. So if Rainy doesn't claim, we're gonna give it to the second place, which was JP. Let's see. Rainy, come on.
Come on.
25 seconds left. You have to type. That 1 minute candle is
Rain
flashing.
is dry.
Rainy, type something. You can't win this and not type. Like, come on.
This is going to bother Nick all day, so please stop.
I know. It really
I know JP is gonna be happy. 3, 2, 1. All right, it's a rainy day for Rainy. JP, congratulations. You won the account.
Oh, he just snuck in there.
Nah, that was too late.
Oh,
We have to stick to the rule. I'm sorry.
We got to go to the judges.
We did give the countdown. Rainy was 3 seconds too late.
Oof.
I already said JP won. Sorry.
Oof.
rough.
Well, let's see if we hear from JP.
Yeah, he did say he's here. So JP, you won the account. Sorry, Rainy. That was too slow.
We announced it. That's why you guys got to be on here. You got to be alert. If you're going to be joining, you can't just join and leave.
Nope. Nope.
All right, guys. Well, congratulations. Yeah, these are not ones that you just type your name in and bounce. So also, don't be changing your names. If you guys are changing your names,
Yeah, so
don't be
I
doing
saw
that.
somebody pulled that. Yeah, careful.
Forming a little bear flag here. An ugly one, but it's a bear flag.
Yeah, it is. It is quite the ugly one, but it's.
That would be.
It's
Wait,
fine.
let me check risk on that really quick, because I think it would be a really ugly one. Yeah, it would be 31 points. Nope. Not for me, that one.
Yeah, we'll go to the behind the scenes judges on that, but Nick, let's do that. Background Nick. Let's do that. We're gonna put this to the chat. All right. So we're gonna
wait a second. We need to find a proper solution for that, because that was
It was what?
that was it was too close, but I'm not happy with it either. So
I feel like we need like concreted procedures on this one, because all
right, we have a poll here. Does Rainy get the account, guys? Does Rainy get the account? People telling me to shut it. Come on. All right. JP would still get one. Okay. Rainy and JP both? Is that what we're doing? And then everybody's happy? Seems like it. Chat is saying 69% Rainy gets it. All right. Let's do that. Both of you guys are going to get the 150K growth account. JP and Rainy.
Though I agree with the chat in that, like, so there is a lag on, there's latency on the stream.
There is a little bit of a lag.
However, it should not come down to the last 5 seconds, guys. You need to be right on it. So we're gonna, because we didn't establish that, we're gonna do right by both of you. You're both going to get an account.
Yeah, we're gonna.
I think that's the fairest way of doing it, and we got our okay from the background guys, so we're okay there. And yeah, Tradeify, that's right, Siva. We're gonna, like I said, we're not gonna get on some BS. But in the future, guys, don't wait till the end, and we're gonna be pretty strict with that. So. We'll set the timer for like 1 minute and 5 seconds due to the latency. But then, guys, going forward, I agree with Nick. We're going to be brutal on this going forward. So
we have to.
Yeah, just to be we'll put a timer on screen. And we'll maybe give a 5-second grace period if somebody's just a little behind. So I think we'll do that in the future, guys. But in the meantime, we're going to do right by both Rainy and JP. You're both going to get an account. So thank you to our behind the scenes team. Brett probably approved that, so thanks to Brett as well. And we don't want to screw anybody here, guys. But again, in the future, this is what we're going to do. So it's going to be.
I think the fact that Brett is so generous and Tradeify.
I'm being told it's background Nick that was doing that. He wants the credit for that.
All right, background Nick.
He's like, that was me. What are you talking about?
Background Nick is gonna get slapped by Brett after. But anyways,
it's been nice working with you, background Nick.
I think that deserves that you like the stream right now and that you share it on your socials and you tell everybody that we're giving away 2 accounts, even though we were only giving away 1 account. Like, come on, guys. Share it, and thank you for being here. This is fun. But no, definitely, JP and Rainy, congrats. You both won an account for free.
For free.
Yeah,
that's important.
That is important.
But just to balance it out, we're going to take away somebody's account from Wednesday. So sorry. No.
Yeah.
Now I'm the guy who can tell background Nick he's getting fired.
I hope not. I like working with him. So. we got a great behind. Hey, it is the end of another week, so we need to give a golf clap to background Nick and producer Drew, who put up with our bullshit every single day. So they deserve an award for that. But we really appreciate them. I can say without a shadow of a doubt, we have the best behind the scenes team in the business, and that's one of the main reasons that we're going to be number one in this very, very soon. So we appreciate everybody who's watching us now. So guys, as we kind of begin to do our last 20-30 minutes here to wrap up the week, Boy, reflections on the week, on the guests. Miriam, we'll start with you. We had Coach Tank, we had Tyler today. And we are, again, we can't spoil anything, but we're on the precipice of a couple of fun new things and some little revamping here at Tradeify. It's going to be a blast. The next week is going to be really exciting, but the past week was as well. But a weird week with FOMC in the floating holiday.
Yeah, it is. I mean, like I said in the beginning, guys, of Monday, I was kind of skeptical going into the week, and you know, we saw some crazy price action, as you guys can see. But I'm glad that we're ending the week on a good note as a team and as a community. It's always going to be like that, and yeah, if you haven't seen Coach Tank's little presentation that he did on Tuesday, was it Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday, I believe. Oh my God, you guys, I encourage you to go back and rewatch that. It was such a great deep dive into psychology, into confirmations, into just all sorts of things. So I highly encourage you guys to go and watch that if you haven't. And basically all of our guests this week have you know, I mean, Tyler has been awesome. So yeah, I just feel like we keep getting the same sort of sentiment from our guests here. And if you guys haven't noticed already, it's always just make sure you're managing your capital, right? Make sure that you are aware of the type of trader you are and that you're not in putting yourself in a position to, you know, take low probability setups. I mean, we had so much of that happen today. We were tested on that on so many levels. So, you know, just be mindful of that. And I don't know, Nick, do you agree with some of that?
Wait, sorry, I was not paying attention at all.
It's okay. I'll just go to Matt. Hopefully he was paying attention.
Because somebody said, Ben Rusk said we have to do a one-on-one trading challenge, background Nick against me. And I said I stand no chance because background Nick full CPI.
Yeah, he's a whole nother type of trader.
Sorry about that.
No, I was just asking what you took away from the week.
What I took away from the week?
Yes.
Wow, now you really put me on the spot here.
I know.
But okay, so first of all, personally, this was my first full green week in a while, which is obviously feels good. I had a bunch of weeks, even I think like 1.5, 2 months, where I had at least one red day, and that was usually the Monday, right? That I told you guys about. So I'm happy about this week in regards to my trading. Obviously, we did have moves that were kind of unexpected. We did have moves that were expected. So overall, I mean, yeah, I can't go too deep into it. Well, actually, let me pull up the 1 hour chart here and look at the price action from this week to give you a proper answer. So the thing is, when we started this week on Sunday, I just need to scroll here. Sunday. Where is it? Damn it. Yeah, wait. Anyways, we basically stayed within a, what is that? Like a 500 point range ish. We established some pretty key levels, like the previous month high was obviously a very, very important level that got touched multiple times and rejected. And then we also had that 21,700 level that rejected now twice already. So we are kind of in this range. And I know that Matt often pulls up his 4 hour range, which is currently this one for this week. So I'm happy with my trading this week, even though on stream I had a lot of break-even trades. Ended it with a nice green trade today, 25 points in total that was. But yeah, happy with the week so far. And well, I can't say so far because it's literally ending. But how about you, Matt?
Yeah, sorry, I was just answering Sean's question in chat. He asked about my settings for NR7. NR7 doesn't have settings; it's just narrow range candles. So there is no settings to adjust outside of the color of the indicator. But just to answer the question, guys, because somebody's asked what's NR7. There's narrow range 7, narrow range 4. I think there might be a 13 in some platforms as well. But it's just an indicator to kind of measure potential impending volatility, right? Because the market, the only constant in the market is that the market expands and the market contracts. Price action, contraction leads to expansion, leads to contraction. It's just a matter of finding out where that is. And statistically, they found over many decades and a lot of back testing that a narrow range 4, or for me a narrow range 7 candle means that's the smallest range that candle. When a candle closes and it's got that 7 on it, it means it's the smallest range of the last 7 candles. So we haven't seen that for a bit here, but often what happens is see here I think is the last one, and you're not going to be able to see it very well on the screen, so I apologize for that, guys, although we're forming one right now. But basically it's when I see a few NR7 candles stack up, so maybe 3 of 7 or 4 of 6 or something like that, that leads me to believe we could see an impending price action expansion. Now, then, of course, we look at candles and other things for whether it's potentially the upside or downside, and the indicator itself makes no mention of that or has no bias on that. It's just simply measuring the total range of the candle. So it should work straight out of the box on TradingView and any other platforms where it works. So I hope that answers your question. But as far as the summing up the week, it's a weird week, guys. It really was, and I kind of had that. I will say that kind of had that bias coming into the week, right? In terms of just looking at the week with FOMC on Wednesday, knowing that there was going to be, and there was some sniping from the president towards the Fed chair, knowing we had one of these very weird floating holidays. I think maybe Veterans Day is the only other one that kind of sticks to a day, or like a particular day rather than like Labor Day or Monday or Memorial Day, which are always on Mondays, or Christmas and New Year's. I know float, but it's that's the end of the year, and it's a weird schedule anyway. So today, and then quad witching today. So it was just an unusual week, right? And we saw unusual price action. There were some opportunities to catch some moves, and we all certainly did. But at the same time, guys, this was a week that if you made it through and your accounts are intact, I think you're ahead of the game. I don't think you're ahead of the game. I know you're ahead of the game. So I think this was one of those weird weeks. We could, there's days and weeks where you make money. There's days and weeks where you just want to protect your capital and save money. I think this week was a little of both. I think there was some opportunities, but again, this was not a week to chase because we did see some sudden reversals. We've already seen a little bit of that today. But it wasn't a forgiving week in the markets. I think the markets punished, with the exception of chasing some of the moves today, the markets were going to punish sloppy entries. So I just again, if you're, Tommy said cash in 20. That's great. Yeah, if you made a payout this week, made a withdrawal, if you passed your first eval or whatever, congratulations. In fact, we want to hear that in the chat to kind of, for the last few minutes, guys, wrap up this show. If you took your first ever payout, passed your first ever eval, or even just made progress in your sim funded or live account, we'd love to hear about it. Tommy, I would say it was a good trading week. It was just a weird trading week. So next week, I think we settle right into back into hopefully some more normal and more steady price action. But then we're going to close out June. We move into July, and then now we're talking the end of July. We have another Fed meeting. Then we have earnings that are going to be revving up. So I think the end of July. I think July in general is going to be a great trading month, guys. But I think especially the end of July, coming about a month from now, is going to be fantastic. But we've got a lot of trading days before then, so we'll try to lock in on that. So. Boundless says processing to pay out of your own account. That counts. Absolutely, that counts. If you're taking profits out of a personal account, that 100% counts as a pay. You're paying yourself. It's no different than taking a payout from a Tradeify account. So definitely golf claps to Boundless, especially because you're here every day, Boundless. We really appreciate you. Appreciate all of our regulars, and we appreciate all of our new viewers as well. But yeah, God, I wish I could reveal a little more, Mariam, but I'm very excited for what we've got coming at Tradeify in the next 7 days.
Oh, I know. You guys are just going to have to tune in and find out. Rock with us every single morning.
That's true.
I love it. I love it.
SHK, last Monday, I got a payout within 21 minutes of my request. Fastest payout I've ever gotten from a prop firm. Hey, that's how we do business here at Tradeify. We don't dick around with that kind of stuff. You make the money, you're entitled to a payout. You ask for it, we get it to you. That's I don't think there's any other firm that processes anywhere near as fast as Tradeify. And as somebody who's taken payouts from other places in past years, guys, yeah, there's nothing like waiting that 3 to 5 business days for something to hit your account, right? So yeah, that's great when yeah, I mean, and again, you request a payout, the money's there. It's no bullshit. So I appreciate, that's one of the reasons I appreciate working here and appreciate working with this team, because we don't fuck around here. So do you have to send a video? Not to my knowledge, no. I think they've only denied a couple of payouts, and it was because people had multiple accounts that were trying to game the system. So other than that, they've never really denied payouts, and that's outstanding. And that's kind of they've got to be one of the leaders in this industry for that. Because, think about it, guys, when you hear about payout denials at other places, the ones you're hearing about are just the ones you're hearing about. There's always icebergs when it comes to this kind of stuff. Think of all the ones of people who aren't online a lot, or maybe don't have huge followings on social media. It's big news when maybe an influencer with 10,000 followers gets denied. But what about all the people that don't have any sort of following? So that's we look out for traders here at Tradeify.
Absolutely.
Yeah, pay the trader. That's the main thing. Also, PMPFX said 13K subs by Monday. Tradeify,
let's go.
Organic growing YouTube community. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for being here and actually sticking to Tradeify TV and subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed already, make sure to subscribe right now so we can actually hit that 13K. Great catch, PMPFX.
Yeah, we love all of you guys that come and watch with us. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I know that there's some West Coast traders on here that are trading with us super early in the morning. I know that because I am on the West Coast, so I know how early you guys are coming on and rocking with us. And it's great because we have so many different types of people from all sorts of countries. I mean, we have people from, all the way where you're at, Nick, and probably past that. But it's I mean, if it's not in America, then I don't know.
Oh, wow. It's not on your map, huh?
That's a typical American speaking. No, but we love you guys. I mean, West Coast, Best Coast, per usual. But we got everyone from the East Coast. From I think I saw South Africa and obviously Switzerland and the UK and all of that. So it's really great to see where you guys are coming in and tuning in from all sorts of the nation and the world. And whether you got your matcha or your afternoon tea, we love that you guys are rocking with us here.
Absolutely. So yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead, Nick.
No, go ahead. You're good.
Oh no, I insist. You go.
Oh no, I just have my tea. I just have my teapot, and I don't really have time to go now. You can go, no problem. Okay?
Don't start this, Nick, because Matt's gonna start doing his creepy voice impression.
No.
Dr. Phil?
No.
Is it Dr. Phil?
Dr. Phil's out of office today. Sorry.
Okay, good. Keep him out of there.
Now that Miriam's expecting it, I can't do it. I gotta wait for her to
good.
Yeah. Hey, Ashan is asking or saying Nick, please bring up growth resets. Hey, I can't make that decision. The only person that can make that decision is Brett. And in order for Brett to be generous, you have to make sure that you share this stream and actually get more people in. Because the more this grows, the more generosity Brett is gonna have towards you guys. So make sure you share it with your friends and family.
And I love what was said about us growing organically, because right now we are, we haven't done paid stuff for this show yet. We're just trying to kind of, we figured it would take us a few weeks to get our bearings. And fortunately for us, we did it really quickly. And to build up a good following and a good, we love all of our viewers and all of you that have not dropped in the chat. We love you too. And we thank you for being here. But you guys in the chat are regulars. You guys make this show really fun and easy to do, because you're always asking smart questions, sharing some smart comments, sometimes some smart ass comments, but I truly appreciate those as a smart ass myself. So yeah, we really appreciate. Yeah. So background, Nick is saying in order for giveaways, we need 15K subs, guys. So your mission this weekend, your homework, as I always give you, is to go out and tell somebody about this show, whether it's in a in a Discord. Most of us are part of trading Discords, whether it's just you and your buddies or a bigger one. Don't go share on a rival's board. We don't want that kind of heat. We're not we like taking occasional fun shots on all this, but we don't have enemies in this business, so don't go invade somebody else's server. But if it's like an affiliate, or especially if a Tradeify affiliate or something, make sure you tell them about Tradeify TV and ask them to stop in and give us a look. And yeah, we have a blast doing this show, guys. We hope you have a blast watching it. Yeah, fellow smartasses unite. Yeah, that's right. USA. I still got to know what's behind that name, but
USA.
that's all right. USA. Yeah, there, don't you know? It's like you say U.S., but you kind of talk like you're from Canada there, eh? Make sure you go up there and get a little something from the Tim Hortons after the show today, okay? Make sure it's a hot coffee. In Canada, you need that hot coffee, okay? Because it's very chilly up there.
Is Tim Hortons like the Dunkin' Donuts of Canada or something?
Ooh, don't make that comparison to a Canadian. Oh, no,
I'm
no,
sorry.
no.
I don't mean to
listen,
offend.
Mary, we're
just
very
really-
polite people up here, but we don't like that swill you call Dunkin' down there in the States. Yeah, there, eh?
Dunkin' is an East Coast thing. It's not even a West
Timmy
Coast thing.
Hortons, okay? It's uniquely Canadian. You come up here and have a cup.
I have to try. All my Canadian friends are always about Tim Hortons, and I'm like, what even is that?
Yeah,
I had no idea for the longest
Don't
time.
compare it to Dunkin' to the Canadians. That's Tim Hortons. Timmy's gone to shit with the new ownership there, eh? Yeah, don't you know?
Oh, now we're getting the restaurant comparisons here. Krispy Kreme.
This is how we end a Friday at Tradeify TV. We want
Oh,
Just don't get Nick on the whole Panda Express thing, because then it'll
I was just about to
shit
start it.
real quick.
Oh, no, get that swill out of here. Cracker Barrel all the way. All right, so now that we're fully off the rails, this may be a good time to kind of put a bow on this week at Tradeify TV, guys. So again, a weird week this week, and we really appreciate everyone bearing with us. Guys, honestly, I was expecting our numbers to dip a little today just because of a lot of people taking time off. They weren't. They were great today, so we appreciate all of you regulars that are here. And again, we ask you to go out and spread the word about Tradeify TV. You guys, we've done enough shows. You know, we're not on any bullshit here. And we're just here to have fun, to educate you a little bit about trading. And guys, trading is lonely. And if you guys keep us on, whether in the background of your browser or at the front of one of your screens, we truly appreciate being a part of your trading day and being a part of your trading routine. So with that, I think I will send it over to Mr. White T himself. Again, before I do that, though, I do want to say one more time, I've been teasing it all day. Pay attention to Tradeify socials, pay attention to the site, pay attention to this YouTube channel over the course of the next week. There's you've told us, you have talked and we have listened. There's a lot of fun stuff coming your way from Tradeify. Stay tuned to that. Hopefully we'll be able to talk, well, some of it we will be able to talk about on Monday. So we truly look forward to that. So Mr. White T himself, Nick, let's spin it around and let's send everyone into the weekend.
Yeah, thank you so much, Matt. And obviously, thank you so much, everybody who watches Tradeify TV, who is subscribed to Tradeify TV, who likes Tradeify TV, who participates in marble races at Tradeify TV, and obviously shows up every single day. We love you all. It's really, really fun to do this show, and we will continue doing it. Believe me, it's gonna be fun times. But for now, for everybody who's green, congratulations. Everybody who's red, also congratulations if you stuck to your rules, and if you didn't, then journal. Find out why you didn't, and find out, hey, what can you change next week to make it a proper green week? And green doesn't mean just P&L. It also means sticking to your rules. All right. Now, but I leave that I leave that part for our only one and only matcha, mommy, curly, straight hair trader, West Coast, Best Coast, whatever.
All the above.
Never heard of Cracker Barrel.
Tim Hortons. I don't even, whatever. Just throw out keywords. No, we love it. I'm so glad you guys are here joining us, and a happy Friday to everyone. I mean, you don't need to hear me repeat everything that Matt and Nick said, but I'm going to leave you with this, right? Go practice gratitude today. Make sure that if you are green on the day, give gratitude for that. If you are not green on the day, also give gratitude for that, because there's always a reason for something, right? So with that being said, go enjoy your day, go enjoy your weekend, have an amazing day, have an amazing weekend, and go tell someone that you love them. Maybe hug a stranger if you're feeling up for it, and go drink your matcha and take your hot girl walk. So we love you guys. We will see you bright and early on Monday, 8:30 Eastern. Have a great weekend and go be great.
See you guys.